go at the World Cup 2026, and it will be Canada, the co-hosts, playing at this tournament for the first time outside of Canada, getting us underway against South Africa, both making their debuts in the knockout stages and both looking for another slice of history at tournaments that will go down in history in their respective countries. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but Dion, it's so brilliant to be here and to have a game where both sides know that already they've had successful tournaments, the most successful tournaments that they've ever had, and one of them is going to take another step towards even more greatness.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, what you don't want to do is you've got to be so concentrated at this level just to make sure, or this stage should I say, just do not concede, do not play any passes you don't need to play, get the ball in the final third of the opposing team and build from there. So yeah, concentration's very, very key here.
So South Africa have won possession, Canada trying to win it back with Tajon Buchanan down this right-hand side, and if I just stretch over our desk here, Dion, I can just about see the assistant who's awarded the throw to South Africa, who have made just one change from their victory over South Korea, which propelled them up into the runners-up place in Group A behind Mexico and took them through to the knockout stage for the first time. Their key midfielder, Teboho Mokoena, returns from suspension. He's in for Talent and Batter. Burnley's Lyle Foster starting on the bench for South Africa once again as Canada win possession with Nathan Saliba in field now from their record goal scorer Jonathan David, and here is Liam Miller of Hull, one of 4 changes that Jesse Marsh has made for this game as Larea brings it down the left-hand side, approaching the penalty area. Larea twisting and turning, but South Africa get the foot in. Larea's trying to win it back, and South Africa had a player down there, but the referee from Portugal, João Pinheiro, uninterested, and Canada will win a throw over on the far side. So yes, 4 changes for Canada. Moise Bombito making his first start of the World Cup, a big boost to have him back to fitness once again. He had played once off the bench against Qatar as the ball is behind for a South Africa goal kick, but starting for the first time at this tournament. Captain Alphonso Davies still on the bench. He is expected to finally play some part after recovering from his latest hamstring issue. Stefan Eustáquio, back from his own hamstring complaint, starts in place of Sonia. Defougerol incidentally has made way for Bombito. Oluwaseyi in for Larin up top, and Miller, who we've already mentioned, in for Norwich's Ali Ahmed. So Canada in possession, playing from left to right as we look down on the action from our vantage point up in the gods here at SoFi Stadium in LA as South Africa make the interception, and they'll come down the left-hand side with Apollis, their winger. Well held up by Nathan Saliba, so we'll play it all the way back to Madiba, and South Africa will work it back to their captain and their number 1, 34-year-old Ronwen Williams, who is such a role model to so many in South Africa. He grew up in one of the poorest areas of the country, and he's such an inspiration to so many in the country. As Canada come down the left-hand side, and they'll work it back to Eustáquio, and now Saliba. He will send it all the way back once more to Canada's back line, and Moise Bombito. Derek Cornelius has it now. He spent this season on loan with Rangers, didn't quite work out for him, fell out of the side and said he felt very disrespected not getting more game time. But he has been a big player for Canada at this World Cup so far as Buchanan plays it to Celtic's Alistair Johnston, who just slips. They still have it though, Canada. Is Buchanan once more. Well dispossessed by Madiba, but then Buchanan tries to win it back. Whistle goes, he's committed the foul on Madiba, and it will be a free kick to South Africa to the left of their own penalty area. So South Africa with Williams in goal. The back 4 of Mudau, Ocon, Mbaweza and Madiba ahead of them, Mokoena and Sitole with Maseko. We've got that winner in the last match against South Korea that sees South Africa playing in their first ever World Cup knockout stage. Mofokeng and Apollis supporting Evidence Mahopper up top. And it's Mbaweza, the centre-half in possession just outside the penalty area, and South Africa will pick it up once again and look for that switcher play to Apollis. Good header by Alistair Johnston, just nudges the ball out of play, and it will be a throw to South Africa. Canada with Crepo in goal, the back 4 of Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius and Larea. Ahead of them Buchanan, Saliba, Eustáquio and Miller with record goal scorer Jonathan David, supported by Oluwaseyi up top. Of course, no Ismail Kone after that horror leg break against Qatar, as Canada almost get in behind. It's cleared away by Ronwen Williams for South Africa. And indeed, we say Canada certainly playing for their fans back at home. They want to change the face of football in their country. They are doing that, but they are, of course, also playing for Ismail Kone. As the ball is cleared away at the back by Ocon for South Africa, and they could be in behind here. Canada trying to get back and hold up Mahopper, and they managed to do so, but South Africa will have it in a central position with Mofokeng 30 yards out as the shot is swiped in, and Crepo made the save. It was Mokoena, the midfielder, who loves to go for goal from range. He did just that, and Crepo did enough as Canada looked to come down the right-hand side and will win the throw on this near side. But first real action of the game, Dion Dublin, with 6 minutes gone. Yeah,
you can see how South Africa, I mean, with 6 minutes in, and South Africa are waiting to squeeze in a certain part of the pitch, and then Canada is squeezing a lot higher, so they're trying to force South Africa into mistakes. Half a chance there for South Africa, should have really done better. Ended up being a shot from 25 yards, didn't affect Canadian defence in any way.
As the ball is whipped in by Canada towards Oluwaseyi, comes out on the edge of the area to Stefan Eustakio, who fires high over the bar. But worth saying, Canada are the favourites for this one. Yes, they're playing outside Canada, as we say, for the first time in this tournament, but they are certainly the side that is higher in the world rankings. They're the co-hosts, and although they might not be in Canada, well, Canada is certainly a lot closer to LA than South Africa, and that is why we've got many more red shirts in here. But it certainly doesn't feel like a home crowd. It feels like they've got the bulk of the support that is in here in terms of those swathes. But I would say probably around 90% of the stadium is just a mix of fans, isn't it? As we said, Dion, there are so many Mexican fans here who potentially this could have been a game for Mexico, so a lot of them have used their tickets and come anyway as Canada come down the right-hand side. And Buchanan's done really well. He's stolen it down by the byline, and then in the end, good defending by the centre half, and Mbaweza, who plays his club football in the USA for Chicago Fire, currently third in the MLS Eastern Conference, shepherding that ball behind. But Buchanan's looking really lively down this right hand side.
I mean, Mbaweza there and his centre half partner Ocon there. You've got to really be on your guard here, because you're going to get no respite at all from David. He doesn't really stop pressing and making it uncomfortable for you, so get the ball out your feet and pass it to your fullbacks, or pass it into midfield. Don't dwindle on the ball. He will close you down and he will nick the ball off you, David.
So South Africa in possession just outside their own penalty area. Mokoena, eventually they work it back to their goalkeeper Ronwen Williams, but Canada really pressing now. This is what Jesse Marsch wanted. He spoke about this in his pre-match press conference here yesterday, being aggressive from the start, going after the game from the start, because they didn't do that against Switzerland. Here's Liam Miller, 30 yards out, has the option on the left-hand side. It's Larea down to the byline. He goes, little deflection, takes it behind. Canada corner there on top.
Yeah, that's the pressure. That's putting your body on the line very early on in the game for Canada, putting your energy on the line as well, so you can get ahead, get the ball back in the final third. It does take its toll later on in the game, but if you use lots of energy early on, you can get yourself some chances and maybe get yourself a goal and get yourself a lead. You will actually feel it as the game goes on. They've got themselves a corner though,
which will be taken by their captain on the day, their vice captain Stefan Eustakio, taking the armband again with Davies on the bench as Eustakio swings the delivery in. Well, it was a decent delivery, bounced right on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it was a couple of yards away from Jonathan David, and no other Canadian player was making the attack there, as Nathan Saliba is adjudged to have put a little bit too much pressure on Mofokeng, and it will be a free kick to South Africa, third of the way inside their own half. It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great cross, by the way. Eustakio there from, right away in that far right-hand corner. We can just see the corner flag, and he whips it in towards the goalkeeper. I mean, all his teammates in black shirts have gone towards the near post. It bounces on the 6-yard line, level with the far post. Great cross.
Nice ball by Apollis down the left-hand side, and South Africa advancing towards the Canada penalty area. Here's Madiba, will keep it alive, and now Mafokeng barged off it by Buchanan, but the referee says that was a fair challenge. And here come Canada. Buchanan's now gone down off the ball. Eustachio trying to keep hold of it and can't do so. McQuainer plays it forward but can't find a teammate, and it's all the way through with Maxime Crepeau, all in dark blue for Canada, on the battle to be number one ahead of this World Cup, and has been ever present here as Canada work it down the left-hand side. And Liam Miller very well challenged over on that far side, and it will be South Africa who pick up possession outside their own penalty area. Rather aimless ball forward, and Moise Bombito will get there. Made a little bit of a hash of it, but Larea will tidy it up on the halfway line. He's well pressured though by Maseko, and South Africa just settling into their groove a little bit here, and Apollis will find it for them on the halfway line as they build once more from the back. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I've been really happy with the referees. Most of the referees have let the game go. If there's a little bit of contact and somebody falls on the floor, and the referee can tell that maybe they're trying to gain an advantage, he's let it go. I think it's much better when the referees just, if you see something and you don't think it's right, just let it go. It's really good to see. Keeps the ball in play.
Canada nearly steal it with Saliba. South Africa do manage to clear, and a nice little touch from Maseko down that right-hand side, but he can't keep it in, and it will be a throw to Canada as the breeze just picks up here inside SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. It is a cooler day. This is why they're having these early kickoffs our time, obviously evening kickoffs with yourselves listeners in the UK, but we're just past midday here. But the idea is that it's cooler on the west coast, and that is certainly the case today. Very pleasant temperature as Alistair Johnston comes down the right-hand side for Canada. Plays the ball in field, lovely turn by Oliver Shea, but just had it stolen from him on the edge of the penalty area, and then South Africa will win the free kick midway through their own half. But first chance we've really seen for Oliver Shea, in for Southampton striker Kyle Larin when it comes to the starters in this round of 32. First time we've really seen what he's able to do.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver Shea there makes a really good run towards the edge of the D, right on the edge of the box, takes it with his back to goal with his right foot, and as he takes his second touch, it just goes a little bit too far away, and then the South African defence just closing on him. The chance is gone.
So, Ronwen Williams in possession for South Africa, who work it out to the right-hand side. Again, Canada putting on the pressure, and they work it once more. South Africa back to their goalkeeper. They just can't get out at the moment. They've split the centre-halves wide, and Mbueza uses that bit of space, plays a nice ball to Apollis, now midway through the Canadian half. Infield to Mafokeng, nice little 1-2. This is good from South Africa, but Mahopa can't get his shot away. Mafokeng might do so, forced out of the area once again. So many golden shirts forward now for South Africa as Madiba picks it up on this left-hand side. Lovely bit of skill, gets him past Buchanan, nice little layoff, but Apollis can't get the shot away. And Canada will clear, but I tell you what, the U's and R's inside this stadium, I think, Dion, a lot of neutrals are supporting South Africa here.
Yeah, well, judging by that little rise in temperature there in the stands, the noise started to get louder.
Oh, but there might be noise here from the Canadians because Liam Miller is in on goal. Miller very well challenged, and there you hear the corresponding roar. That's super defending by the centre-half, Mbueza. And he does a chest bump with his goalkeeper, Ronwen Williams, and well mighty, because that was such a dangerous move for Canada. They've got a corner. He did brilliantly there.
He did, yeah. I mean, Miller really has got, he tries to chop back onto his right foot. All he's got to do is roll it into the box. His teammates there, Oluwaseyi, he runs from 30 yards, he's sprinting, and when he doesn't get the ball, he sort of looks at the ground with his fists clenched, as if to say, why didn't you just cross it? He was in. Liam Miller made the wrong decision that time.
And it's actually got a touch off Miller on the way through, and it's gone behind for a South Africa goal kick. So, Mbueza is on the edge of his penalty area and plays it back to his goalkeeper, Ronwen Williams. Goalless here in the opening 15 minutes, and Williams is taking an absolute age over this. Plays his club football in South Africa, as so many of this squad do, the vast majority of them. He's number 1 for Mamelodi Sundowns, runners-up in the top flight this season. But over half the squad either play for the South African champions, Orlando Pirates, or the runners-up, Mamelodi Sundowns, so they know each other so well. As Canada come forward once more, that was a nice ball from Saliba. It's picked up by Oluwaseyi. He's got options in the centre. And a very good challenge once again from Sitole this time to rob Jonathan David 14 yards out just as he was about to pull the trigger, and it's smuggled behind for South Africa for another Canada corner, goalless.
Sitole there coming to the rescue for South Africa, just about to set fire to it. What a decision to come back from midfield and defend and save your team. Certainly going down to a goal.
Well, he was sent off in the opener against Mexico, Sitole. So it's been a mixed tournament for him, but superb defending there, as Dion Dublin says. As Eustakio comes over to this near side, and again we just lean forward so we can see this corner being taken from our vantage point up in the gods here at the SoFi Stadium in LA. Eustakio holds his bandaged right hand in the air and then swings it in. It's another decent delivery, and that could easily have been 1-0 Canada. Jonathan David picking up the perfect position, but steers his shot a few yards wide. Well, he's on point with this delivery so far, Dion. Stefan Eustakio.
I mean, from one side he's put it on a sixpence, from the other side as well, just below us here. I mean, he's just beautiful crossing, and I'm thinking just connect with it. Jonathan David just doesn't get it right. He hits it sort of short of the near post, but I think if he gets the connection right on his laces, he scores.
So 17 minutes gone here in LA. It's still goalless. South Africa are just starting to slow things down a bit from the goal kicks. They are the underdogs in this game, as the ball goes straight out of play for a Canada throw just inside their own half. But they were the underdogs in Group A, qualified as runners-up despite being the lowest ranked side, finishing behind Mexico. As they clear the ball away once again, and Canada will have another throw, third of the way inside the South Africa half this time. 0-0, Dion Dublin.
I think it's a bit of an advantage as well for South Africa. You know, 8 of their players play for Mamelodi Sundowns and 8 play for Orlando Pirates. It does give you that kind of, I know who I'm playing with, I know if he's left-footed or right-footed, is he quick, is he going to get back? Gives you a bit of one-upmanship, I would imagine. I actually scored my first goal for Manchester United against Orlando Pirates. There you go.
There you go. Fact of the day from Dion Dublin here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Wonder how many of our listeners would have got that, Dion?
None.
So Canada in possession. Goalless here in this history-making match for both sides. First knockout stage game at a World Cup. It is the first ever last 32 match, of course, in this expanded 48-team edition tournament. South Africa have it over on the far side. That's nicely worked in field. Bit of space for Sitole. Out to the left looking for Madiba. Doesn't find him, but will find Apollis. And will be collected by the central midfielder Mokoena. Such an important player for South Africa, and was involved in their biggest controversy in qualifying. South Africa were actually deducted 3 points in the qualifiers because he played against Lesotho. He was supposed to be suspended, and they essentially forgot or didn't realise, and so he played. They won 2-0, and then they said, well, right, sorry, you were supposed to be suspended, so 3-point deduction. But they still managed to get through qualifying impressively ahead of Nigeria. They finished top of their qualifying group despite that 3-point deduction. So they've already had to battle against the odds to get here. They had to battle against the odds, South Africa, to get out of the group, and now they're battling, like Canada, to make more history and progress from their first ever knockout stage tie. Out to the left-hand side, Madiba will keep that in. No, he won't. I'll tell you what, I said, I'm going to be honest with you, listeners, I gambled there. Because I wasn't leaning forward, so I thought he kept it in, but there's a camera in the way, and the assistant, I think, has a much better view than me, so let's say it was the right decision as Canada win a free kick inside their own half.
It's just a yard or 2 yards, isn't it, in front of the dugout, and you just have to give it a proper lean over your desk just to see the touchline in front of the dugout. You lose about 2 yards of it, so you're not quite sure. You see all the commentators, people behind us leaning, people in front of us are leaning to see what's going on.
Well, I'll work on my lean for the rest of the game so we don't get any more gambles in terms of which way a throw's going to go. I can promise you that, as Canada pick it up on the left-hand side. Still goalless here as Derek Cornelius has it. Plays it in field to Nathan Saliba. Canada, who saw that defeat against Switzerland last time out, not only mean that they didn't top the group, but it did end a 10-match unbeaten run for them as well. As South Africa pick it up on the far side. And the ball is in field to Bronwyn Williams. And it just feels, Dion, like both teams are suddenly starting to realise the weight of this game, the fact that it's the first knockout stage for both. We're seeing a little bit of caution here.
Yeah, being a bit more careful with their passing, a little bit more crisper with their passing, realising that you have to keep hold of the ball and not give any chances away.
And South Africa have given the ball away. Again, it's another very good challenge over on that far side, but play is going to be called back for an earlier foul, so it's going to be a free kick to Canada, just level with the left-hand side of the penalty area, 30 yards out. And as we've said, Stefan Eustachio has so far been on point. It was Oliver Shea who was found by Ocon, plays in the German second tier for Hanover, just committing the foul there, and it will be a free kick to Canada. Eustachio standing over it. Liam Miller is there as well.
Yeah, I think these are dangerous times with Eustachio being so good at set pieces and hitting his mark most times. In swing, I think this will be.
Well, Miller's there as an option as well, but he will leave it for Eustachio, who sends it in. It's another great delivery, and what a chance for Derek Cornelius. Oh, he just couldn't get the purchase on the header, and it's tamely into the arms of the South Africa captain, Bronwyn Williams. Free header, 6 yards out. Dion Dublin, he's got a score.
Oh my word, how has he missed?
The South Africa come down the right-hand side. Huge scare at one end. Could they create a scare for Canada at the other? As the ball is pulled back to the edge of the box, and the shot from McQuainer, who again is driving from range as he loves to do, is blocked away by Canada. South Africa have it on the halfway line, and Dion, I can tell you're aghast. Let's bring you back in.
Yeah, I mean, Eustachio there with another great ball, and in swing it lands literally on the middle of the 6-yard box, and Cornelius has just got to get connection. He gets half a connection and it just bounces and just drops into the keeper's hands. If he really means it and he really goes to head it, he will score. There'll be one up. That is an unbelievable chance missed.
Well, he's only scored once for Canada, Derek Cornelius.
Well, it should have been two today.
Well, it should have been two. The other one was actually a great free kick against Wales back in September, as the booze will tell you. We're going to have our first hydration break, and we don't need it. We really don't, but we know they're happening. But the fans are making their thoughts clear. So, Dion Dublin, thoughts on the first half so far?
I'm not minding it at all. Really. It was a little bit hectic first 5 minutes, but everything has calmed down a little bit now. Both sides realising where they are, how important it is to keep hold of the ball. There's been less mistakes. The passing's been more crisper as the first 22 and a half minutes has gone. Cornelius there getting the best chance of the first half of the half so far, and what South Africa are doing very well. They're splitting the play. What they're doing, they're switching from left to right very quickly. Canada are finding that difficult. I'm enjoying the game.
And presenter Rick Edwards alongside us. Are you enjoying the game as well, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I can't quite over that Cornelius miss, Dion. That is, I mean, it's such a great delivery, and if you're a big centre back, that is where you want it. There's no one anywhere near you. It's really poor. It's really poor.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've just got a replay here of Eustachio. He's out on the left-hand side, Canada's left-hand side, and he's literally heading it 6 yards out in the middle of the 6-yard box. On that occasion, I'm saying to myself, right, I'm a centre forward or centre half, get good purchase on it, and you will score. I think he's thinking, is there any contact coming? Is there any contact? So he might be thinking about that. No excuse. Should have scored there, Rick. Should have scored.
Also, I mean, Canada have created a few opportunities. Liam Miller, after about 15 minutes, when he was on the left, and you just think, put it across, and he sort of chops back, and that's slightly been the story of Canada at this tournament. Create a lot, but just a little bit lacking right at the final moment.
No, I agree. Uluwashey there, he's made a long run, 40 yards down the centre of the pitch. Liam Miller's gone down the left-hand side. All he has to do, Rick, is just raise his head, see his teammate, roll it in front of him. He's got a tap in from about 8 yards out, but tries to chop back in, as you said. Gets it wrong. Great defending from South Africa, but when those chances arise, you've got to make the right decision with the right pass.
Because you'd say that, Canada have created more opportunities, but South Africa have looked pretty lively going forward as well, Vicky.
I think they have, and I think particularly, I mean, we've mentioned Teboho Mokoena, they're huge midfielder for them, back from suspension, but this one he loves to drive from range, and we've seen a couple of those. I think there's been some nice movement from Mahopper, and Mufakeng, of course, had that good opportunity as well. Look, we expected Canada to have more of the ball. They are the favourites for this game, but it's even. It is even so far, and it's still in the balance. So, more from Rick at half-time, presenting with us here live from LA at SoFi Stadium on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Rick also is host of the Football Daily throughout the tournament. You can download that from BBC Sounds every day, bringing you all the reaction to all the games, all the news, little tidbits from being out here in North America as we are ready to get underway once again in this first half. 0-0 between South Africa and Canada. First World Cup knockout match for both of them. And Hugo Broos, again, can't see the technical areas, I presume, watching on down there. He's made history as well, becomes the oldest manager to take charge of a World Cup knockout match at 74 years old, as the ball is back with Maxime Crepeau of Canada. Broos as well, interestingly, saying that before the tournament he was adamant he was going to retire. He suggested slightly otherwise in his press conference yesterday. I might go back to that shortly, but Canada attacking well. Leraya's got up from full-back position, but they've given it away, and Hopper will try and bring it forward for South Africa. Can't do so, and it will be Canada who pick up possession, and played back once more to Moise Bombito, and out to the left-hand side, and Derek Cornelius, the man who has missed that huge opportunity for Canada. And as well, Dion, we didn't mention at the time, Alistair Johnston was completely unmarked as well, a couple of yards to his left. They've got to do better at marking from set pieces, South Africa. It has been woeful so far in terms of that, and really Canada should have punished them as they have the ball on the left-hand side midway through the South Africa half. 0-0. Yeah,
just stop giving free kicks away in dangerous areas when Eustáquio's on the pitch, because he will put it in the right area for his teammates to score. They just have to put the icing on the cake. They haven't so far, so South Africa, just be patient, don't dive into challenges.
Saliba is dispossessed, and that's a lovely layoff by Evidence Mahopper, the tall striker for South Africa. Saliba making amends, has won it back, then he's dispossessed once more. Good tackles flying in the centre of the park, and South Africa moving the ball really nicely. There's a composure to their play when they're in possession, and here is Mofokeng, the attacking midfielder, was looking for the run of Mahopper but can't find him, and it goes all the way through to Maxime Crepeau. 0-0.
Yeah, it's now become very sort of game of chess-y. Don't give it to your opponents, try and find a way around them. At the moment it's being won in midfield by Canada, having most of the play.
Here goes South Africa though, winning it back. Mokoena lays it off to Apollis, and they will just build patiently once more. South Africa, highlight before this World Cup of Hugo Broos's tenure. He's been in charge for just over 5 years now. Was a bronze medal at the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2023. They lost to Cameroon at the most recent edition in the last 16. But he says no wonder, he is incredibly proud of himself and the group for the results they've had, and the way that he's built South Africa up. Bafana as a nation once again. This is their first World Cup since hosting in 2010, as they are in possession midway through their own half. And again, I'm just trying to gauge the reception of the neutrals here. I think basically they want to see attacking football, and the fact that South Africa are passing this around, they're not too impressed.
No, two centre halves. And Ronwen Williams there, the keeper, just keeping it, trying to force Canada to break ranks, trying to force the forwards to come forward and do something. Jonathan David is not getting sucked in. Louis Shea is not getting sucked in as well. They have to go long in the end. That was quite weird, that was, wasn't it?
It was. Never heard quite so many boos for a goalkeeper not playing the ball quickly. The South Africa keep it in with Madiba on this left-hand side. Little ricochet will take it back to McQuainer. His delivery into the area, into the midriff of Crepo. Well, we are in Hollywood. Russell Crowe, aka Maximus, might have roared there, "Are you not entertained?" I think the answer would have been no from the vast majority
yes, exactly.
of this Colosseum-like stadium, really, isn't it? Absolutely huge. 5
brilliant.
tiers. We're right at the top here in SoFi Stadium. Holds up to 70,000 for the World Cup, and they have come to be entertained. So far, it's been a decent 0-0, but I would say that the quality is slightly dropping off since we've had the drinks break.
You know
the
what?
throw is for Canada on the far side.
I'm looking behind me, to the left and to the right. I think there's only about 10 rows of seats to the back of the stadium. So we're more or less right at the top of the stadium. I think we are at the same height as the big sort of screen.
And the Hollywood sign away to our left, 13 miles away. So, Canada in possession on the halfway line. It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they come down the right-hand side. Here's their record goal scorer, Jonathan David. Closed down well by the golden shirts of South Africa. And Eustachio will pick it up and feeds Moise Bombito, his first start of the tournament for the very influential centre-half for Canada. But South Africa's centre-halves standing up well, making the interception once again. And then playing it forward, but nobody really up there. And it will be intercepted by Bombito on the halfway line. And he will amble forward once more. But again, we spoke about this a few minutes ago, Dio, on caution. And I think at the moment, even for Canada, that is starting to characterise their play.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to benefit either of these sides. They're not very good at it. They're not very good at slowing the play down and then picking the pace of the game up. They both play very, very quickly. So it would be a new game to them if they try and slow things down. They'll probably get it wrong.
Well, this is better from Canada. Saliba tries to fizz that ball out to the right-hand side, but it's well intercepted on the far side by Kaliso Mudau. And South Africa will play up from the back. The crowd have given up, waiting for this game to entertain them, and they are creating their own entertainments. A Mexican wave spreading around the stadium, although even that, I think, has fizzled out. There's a bit of head tennis in the centre circle. And Derek Cornelius, the man who's had Canada's best chance so far, the centre-half with a free header from a set-piece, sending it straight at the South Africa captain, goalkeeper Roman Williams, is in possession on the halfway line. Plays it to Bombito, out to the right-hand side, and Tajon Buchanan, a lovely little bit of skill to get past Madiba, and Buchanan will feed Alistair Johnston, a little loose touch, and that's a really good sliding challenge by the winger, Oswin Apollis. Down there is appealing for the throw as well. If I lean forward, I can see that actually it's gone out for a goal kick, and that will be a goal kick to South Africa. And I tell you, this isn't fair. The boos are already starting, and Ronwen Williams hasn't even put the ball down, and now he has played it. So I think there was anticipation that he was going to delay it. They started booing him before he even had a chance. That's very mean.
It is, isn't it? Come on, you lot, give him a chance. It's a big game for them. We can't just kick it forward and give it away. It's I don't mind them playing out from the back. I think that's, the way that the game wants to be played and needs to be played. However, try and play in between the lines. Try and get it forward. Try and do something different.
Because we've seen they can do that, South Africa, in this
successfully
game.
as well.
Lovely movement when they are in possession and they go forward quickly. They've won it back on halfway, so totally, that's really good pressure though from Tajon Buchanan of Canada, and that means they can't play through the lines quickly that time, South Africa. But again, they go back to the keeper. Ronwen Williams is again bearing the brunt of the boos. I mean, again, it got past him in there. What's he supposed to do? And now they've given it away. McQuainer, poor delivery. Here's Saliba for Canada, just outside the area. Forward by Miller. Now Oluwaseyi drives the shot in on the angle, and it's an easy take for Ronwen Williams.
Yeah, tame that. Real tame one. I mean, you've got to do better there. I mean, you can't be giving the ball away in midfield to players like Saliba. He will find a good pass.
That was a super drive from the goalkeeper to Mofo Keng. And Mahopper could be in here. They've got options down the right-hand side. Maseko for South Africa. And he's won the corner.
There was a moment there when Mahopper went through, just getting into Canadia's box down the right-hand side, getting into the 18-yard box. If he'd have lifted his head, he would have seen that Crepeau was right out of his goal. He could have just thought about lifting it over his head. Missed that chance.
So, Oswin Apollis over to take the set piece from the far side. He almost retired actually in 2022. He was so frustrated with the way his career going. And now playing at a World Cup as South Africa try and keep it alive from the corner but can't do so. And the ball goes out of play for a Canada goal kick as the sun just forces its way through the clouds here in Los Angeles. We are covered by this translucent enormous roof, but you can feel the sunshine when it does break through the clouds above us. As we say, temperatures in the low 20s, and although this is a midday kickoff, so just past 12:30 in California, it is not certainly anywhere near some of the very high temperatures we've seen at this World Cup already, as Sitole does well. Wins possession on the halfway line for South Africa, but again they're forced backwards. Mudal, the right back, will pick it up, and infield now to Mokoena. Intercepted by Jonathan Davids. Lewis heading it on, but nobody's ahead of him. They want a free kick, Canada. They're not going to get it. And South Africa have it once more. Both sides looking to make more history, having reached the knockout stages for the very first time. That's a lovely ball to find Oswin Apollis for South Africa. Into the area, goes one way then the other. And a very good block by Moise Bombito. South Africa corner. This is better from South Africa.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice big switch from right to left. And that's what they want to do, get Apollis on the ball, get him going down the left-hand side. But it's really, really good defending by Bombito, making sure they've changed it again. Look, they went for the corner, now it's good. I mean, do I like that rule? Do I not? I thought it was a corner, and now it's a goal kick. Fair enough. But it's done very quickly, though. It keeps the game going, keeps the game moving. I don't mind that.
So, Canada in possession over on the far side. And they will have a free kick just inside the South Africa half. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As Canada slow the play down. Infield now to Moise Bombito again. It's fair to say there's caution, there's a bit of nervousness, and at the moment it's characterising Canada a little bit more than South Africa, although I think it's fair to say as well, Dion, this isn't just about mentality. This is about two sides that are working very, very hard to stay in their defensive shapes, and so just tactically it is difficult for both sides to break through.
It is, because as they did in the first 5-8 minutes, they were both having to go at squeezing in certain areas of the pitch, trying to win it back, but they're now getting back into a shape and saying, right, you're going to have to break us down because we know how good we are in this shape at defending. You do something special to break us down.
So Liam Miller coming down the left-hand side for Canada. He will lay it in field to Nathan Saliba. Little interception. And Smoodow will pick it up and prevent the corner. That's a nice little turn under pressure from Ime Okon. Really confident play there by the 22-year-old. Canada have won it back near the halfway line. South Africa win it back once more. They can't hold on to it at the moment, Canada. And just as I say that, neither can South Africa. They've given the ball away again. Nice little layoff as Canada look to build something, but again, nobody can hold on to it for more than 2 seconds at the moment, Dion.
That's a great challenge, by the way, but a minute ago from Okon, he had to get that one absolutely spot on. He went to ground in his own box. It was against Liam Miller, and he had to get that right.
Madiba's turn to give it away for South Africa, and then Canada will win the free kick. Saliba going down, and they will have a set piece midway through their own half. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. So this is the only match of the day as the FIFA World Cup knockout round gets underway. Tomorrow on 5 Live we've got our World Cup show from midday. Then Wimbledon begins. Emma Raducanu amongst those getting their campaigns underway. That's at 1 o'clock on 5 Live, and then join us later on in the evening. Japan against Brazil from 6, and Germany facing Paraguay at 9:30. And then in the early hours of Tuesday morning, Netherlands taking on Morocco. Some really good matchups in the last 32. But I have to say, Dion, as someone who was objectively pretty sceptical about how the group stage would play out, I think it's been very enjoyable, actually.
I think we've seen some very good performances from the smaller countries within the World Cup. I think we've seen some very surprising results, and individual performances as well, and I think I'm happy with it. So far that I've been involved in the World Cup, I think it's been absolutely brilliant. Some great goals, the big hitters are all rearing their head and scoring the goals as well, so yeah, very good.
Here come Canada, down the right-hand side on Shea. Was he caught there? He felt he was, yes. The referee's whistle goes, the assistant waves that yellow and red flag on this near side. Free kick to Canada, the foul by the centre-half, Mbueza. And we know how dangerous Canada have been from set pieces. They should have scored from one of their most recent ones. Cornelius with the free header straight into the arms of Ronwen Williams, but this man who's just placed the ball on that sprayed white line, Stefan Eustachio, has been on point in terms of his set-piece deliveries so far. It is just about level with the penalty spot, about 4 or 5 yards right of the penalty area. So a wide right position. Canada have the black shirts lined up around the penalty spotters. Ronwen Williams, the South Africa goalkeeper and captain, organises his defence. Here's Eustachio, dinks it in again. It's another good delivery, and the header will sail over the bar and lands on the roof of the net. Well, again, they're getting into the good positions, Canada, but they can't make the decisive contact.
No, it's a great ball in again. Eustachio there, just leaving it. He knows that there's black shirts in there, his teammates are in there. He leaves it into an area, but what it is, but all his teammates are stood under the ball. Nobody's moving. It's very hard to jump up into the air and then direct the ball with power and pace. You just can't do that. You have to be running towards the ball, lose your marker, be on the run and get some power on it.
Guess what's happening? Poor Ronwen Williams is being booed again. Taking his time over this one. And clears downfield as it's flicked on by South Africa. A couple of players tumble on the edge of the area, but the referee says there's nothing in that as Mofokeng and Maseko went down. And Canada have a player down as well. It's Moise Bombito. Of course, with his recent injury problems, that's a concern, but he's up to his feet already. But this, the man who missed most of this season for Nice with a broken leg, came back just before the World Cup. As we say, made one substitute appearance here against Qatar in the group stage, but this is first start of the tournament. But this is what Jesse Marsh has said, Canada's manager, the former Leeds United boss, as Canada had possession on the left-hand side, that the plan was always that they would get stronger throughout the World Cup because of injuries. And that is what's happening in terms of bodies back for Canada, as Johnston, loose touch, almost gave it away. Out to the left-hand side and will be collected by Liam Miller of Hull, and that's a lovely ball. Johnston lays it off, very unlucky. Couldn't find Shea or Jonathan David, but that was lovely combinations down that left-hand side between Miller and Johnston, and they've taken the throw quickly. South Africa ready, intercept, corner Canada.
Lovely play down the left-hand side, much better. Not holding on the ball for too long as well, making sure that you pass and you move down the left-hand side. Miller's doing really well. He's got to try and get some more end product.
So 2 minutes plus added time to play in this first half here in LA. Goalless between South Africa and Canada. Canada with the corner over on the far side. Again, Eustachio raises that bandaged right hand in the air, but the referee from Portugal, João Pinheiro, has just come into the area just to have a word with a couple of players. Now blows his whistle once again. Eustachio to take the corner, swings it in. It's another good delivery, and the header towards goal off the line. Canada trying to keep it alive. Again, they're trying to get it in. Buchanan's effort is saved. Brilliant last-ditch defending from South Africa. But again, how have Canada not scored?
I don't know. I really don't know. The quality of the cross again is just pinpoint. Eustachio with an in-swinging cross, and it just lands right on the money. It's an unbelievable header. I think it was Bombito, that headed it first, and then it bounces on the floor a yard away. It gets cleared off the line, and then it comes back in again, and Ronwen Williams, the keeper, makes his body as big as possible. It's a shot from close range. It's all over the place, and they do so well to get yellow shirts back, defend their goal. Bodies on the line. They're not one down when they could quite easily have been. What a save from Williams. Maybe they won't boo him anymore.
Yes, huge save from Williams from Buchanan on the follow-up as Cornelius was trying to get there as well. As Dion says, the initial header from Moise Bombito. Aubrey Madiba it was back there, clearing off the line for South Africa. Well, we criticised Canada for not converting chances from previous set pieces, but that was just one of those things, some brilliant defending from South Africa from their perspective. As Liam Miller has it down the left-hand side, Canada in the ascendancy. Oh, could that be a penalty? Big shouts from Canada as Oliver Shea went down. The goal kick's been given. All of Canada's players are protesting as we enter 3 minutes of added time. It was Larea, in fact, who's been caught. He's still down, clutching his knee. 3 minutes at a time announced in the stadium, but VAR are going to have a look at this. Let's see.
You know what? I think they've got a case. I do think they've got a case. The ball doesn't move. I'm looking at the ball. Larea goes down the outside of Miller. He tries to reach for the ball. His foot goes down first. Miller's foot comes in, Larea's foot comes in after. This is an interesting one, this one, because both of them are doing very natural things. Nobody's done anything out of the ordinary. This is an interesting one, this.
I guess the question is it more Larea's contact on the defender Mudau, or is it Mudau coming across? I think Mudau would argue, well, actually, basically, Larea's kicked me as I've come across, but it's this tangle of legs, isn't it?
Yeah, but Mudau has made a challenge for the ball, and he hasn't touched the ball at all. So therefore, Larea's foot should be allowed to strike the ball. I don't know what he's going to do with it. I think, he's letting it go.
Yeah, he's letting it go. It's one of those, again, we know that there's a high bar here for VAR, and so unless they feel that it's really clear, then they're going to say no. So,
but it's done, Vicky. You know, it's done. Fair enough. You know, we all have different opinions on VAR and decisions like that. But they've made a decision and moved on. A couple of seconds, brilliant.
Well, he got the countdown there, Roman Williams, and he did just about send the ball back into play before the referee would have awarded a corner. As Canada coming forward again, they're finishing this first half really strongly here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they pick up possession, but then concede it, and South Africa will have it once more as the sun again just breaks through the clouds and beams down through the enormous translucent roof here as Ronwin Williams, and look, this is where it's different. He's allowed to take as long as he wants because the ball's in play right now. This isn't about releasing it from a goal kick or a free kick, but he's still getting short shrift from the fans inside the stadium, which want to see the game move on. But look, from a South Africa point of view, Canada are on top. You can totally understand them wanting to take the sting out of the game as Oliver Shea has the ball just outside the penalty area on the left-hand side. He's trying to work his way in, goes down on the edge of the box. No appeal from Oliver Shea, no whistle from our referee, João Pinheiro, and cleared away by South Africa, who are hanging on a bit here at the end of the first half. 0-0 between Canada and South Africa. And South Africa clear once more, but Canada have stolen it back, but the whistle goes. It's a free kick for South Africa. And again, you can hear the jeers inside the stadium, and I can see many Canadians in that red slice that goes up all 4 tiers. There's not actually a section in the 5th tier there, so it just goes up all 4 tiers away to our right, this diagonal section of red shirts. They're all up on their feet. They're all complaining at the referee. And they all want to see a Canada breakthrough, but they're not going to get it in this first half. It's goalless. Canada now surround the referee. Jesse Marsh has come onto the pitch. Jesse Marsh, in his grey top, is walking onto the pitch, and he's actually being stopped by Moise Bombito, the centre half, from going to the referee. This is unbelievable. I don't think I've seen this before. A player has had to come across to his own manager and say, hang on a minute, Gaffer, just take a moment, go to the dressing room, we'll see you in there. You cannot come onto the pitch at half time and go and address the referee. Wow.
I think he's done great, to be fair. I really do. And what you don't want, I think, if you can just keep your manager away, make sure that he's there for you. Bombito there, the centre half, has done really well. Gaffer, we need you at half time. Get yourself in, let the boys have a word, and we walk away. That's what it is. What he's so incensed about, I don't know. Was it the offside? Was it the penalty? We shall see.
So, goalless here at half-time, but it is all boiling up a little bit. Let's see what the second half holds. For now, let's hand you a couple of seats to my right and to Rick Edwards.
I mean, it's 0-0, but this is a great watch. Canada right on top at the end. I think we've got to deal with the penalty shout first, right in the last few moments. I think I'm with Vicky. I think it was a kind of tangle of legs, and he might even, Dion, just like graze the ball with his toe.
Slightly.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, there might be the slightest of slightest touches. I mean, if you got to, I don't know, if you're going to dissect it, he probably does get a little toe on it, therefore there's no penalty. But tangle of legs, maybe, you know, I think he tries to reach for the ball, he doesn't get it. And then, I don't know, maybe they got it right. What I don't want to happen is it to take 2, 3, 4 minutes, and they made a decision, they stuck with it, and that's what we need, keep the game moving.
I actually quite like the high bar that we're seeing for stuff at this World Cup. Like, I completely get from Lorea's point of view. He's like, well, I was trying to kick the ball and I couldn't kick the ball. But that is soft, and we don't want to see loads of penalties given, and we do want to see decisions made on field.
Referees have been great. I think they've really been good. What I do like more than anything is you see a lot of players now waiting for contact and they're falling down, and then the pressure's off them. The referees are saying, no, we're playing on. We are playing on. If you want to go down and be a man down, then that's up to you. I like that they're just allowing those little shoves and contact, natural contact in this natural game of contact. Let it go.
Former Canada defender David Edgar is back with us. David, Canada's build-up is crisp. They were dominating towards the end of that game. They create chances. They just don't make it count, and the most obvious example being the Cornelius header just before the hydration break, which he has to score that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has to score. I think he sort of thinks the goalkeeper's coming out and he doesn't realize he's got that. You've got time to take it down, but he's got to score. Yeah, I think Canada's got into it a little bit more after the hydration break, kind of sitting off that press. But as long as you're getting when they do go long, if the back four is stepping in, I think it should be okay. And it looks like it'll be won on a set piece so far.
And Canada's set piece delivery has been excellent. And South Africa, I think, probably need to stop giving away those free kicks in dangerous areas, because Eustáquio every time is on the money.
Well, that's it. I think some of the free kicks they're giving away it's just amateur defending at times, when the players are turning away from the goal and you're just giving away free kicks. But like you say, it's going to come back to haunt them, as Eustáquio's delivery's been fantastic, and you've got Bombito, who's another threat in the air now, getting on the end of things. So South Africa's got away with 1 or 2 there, and I think Canada they have to capitalise now on these opportunities.
I mean, some fantastic last-ditch defending from that corner. Actually, I don't know how the ball hasn't gone in. The header from Bombito cleared off the line, and then some great goalkeeping, smothering the follow-up shot as well. But Canada will feel basically they should be ahead here.
Yeah, I think over the course of 45 minutes, Canada will feel hard done not to be one up at least. But like I said, in the South Korea game, South Africa made something like 40-odd clearances like this. They're happy to do this. They're okay to defend, and they'll wait for their opportunities on the counter-attack. So Canada's going to need to stay switched on in the rest defense.
Dion, the crowd have been booing the goalkeeper Ronwen Williams when he's taken a bit of time with the ball at his feet, and I suppose the crowd basically they want their money's worth and they want to see football. It feels a bit harsh to me.
He's the one that's being picked out, isn't he? And everyone is jeering him when he gets the ball. It's like, we paid good money for this, entertainers. And what he's trying to do, he's just trying to suck out the Canada's centre forwards to try and close him down, which leaves gaps in the midfield so he can play. But he's not being sucked in by the fans. And also break up a bit
of the momentum. Like, he knows that his team are a little bit up against it. So he's doing absolutely the right thing.
He is. Listen, the fans will have to deal with it, because that's not going to change if it stays 0-0. They'll still try and do the same things. But I'll tell you what, Ronwen Williams has made a couple of good saves as well, by the way. Really good saves.
Nice message we had here from Matt in London. You'll enjoy this, Dion. The Canada strip reminds me of when I'm doing DIY and I get paint on my t-shirts instead of on the wall. It's that, or it's I've accidentally parked my car overnight under a tree, and you come back in the morning, you're like, you're kidding me.
I think I've got one of those. One of those t-shirts.
Back with Dion and Vicky very shortly, but for now, let's get the news with Dan Maudsley.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thank you, Rick. Ben Stokes has described his time as England's cricket captain as the greatest honour after announcing his retirement from the international game. News broke during today's afternoon session on day 4 of the final test against New Zealand. Gareth White chairs Cockermouth Cricket Club, where Stokes first played as a teenager.
He was a precocious talent, he really was. Initially as a batsman and always an excellent fielder. Then his bowling came in tow and he had this tremendous work ethic. You can ask anyone who was down the Cockermouth Cricket Club ground at that time when Ben was growing up. He was always in the nets, he was always tinkering, he was always bat in hand or ball in hand, or somebody was hitting him catches. He had a voracious appetite for the game.
Medical and psychological support teams are caring for families who witnessed their loved ones die in a plane crash in France. The plane, carrying 5 nurses about to take part in their first tandem skydives, along with their instructors and a pilot, came down moments after takeoff in Tomblaine, killing all on board. Officials in Venezuela say the number of people known to have died in Wednesday's devastating earthquakes has reached 1,450. The country is now said to be in the critical hours to save lives. Our correspondent Will Grant is in the state of La Guaira, one of the hardest hit areas.
I think what we're going to see is the numbers continually go up, but a lot of complaints begin to emerge that the true number will never be known, that there'll be so many communities that never really got their loved ones reflected in the final total because they were simply buried beneath the rubble and never found.
A British man has been arrested in Ecuador after the body of a woman was found inside a suitcase in Colombia. Matthew Foster Smith, who's 46 and from Bournemouth, is alleged to have caused the death of a woman in Bogota 10 days ago. And the Princess of Wales has completed the National Three Peaks Challenge. She climbed the 3 highest mountains in Scotland, Wales and England, all within 24 hours, in support of the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity.
Throughout the World Cup, 5 Live Breakfast is coming to you live from the USA.
I came all the way from Sweden to be part of this, and I don't regret it at all.
Scotland fans have become part of the community in Boston.
We flew in today from Calgary, spend the day in Vancouver, watch the game. Best day ever.
Now we get down to the serious business of what is going to happen on the football pitch tonight.
5 Live Breakfast.
Ask your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport.
At the FIFA World Cup 2026.
With Rick Edwards.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Well, let's bring you up to date with everything else that's been happening today on a dramatic day at Trent Bridge. Ben Stokes' retirement from international cricket was announced at 3:25pm while he was on the pitch bowling. At stumps, England were 103 for 4, still needing 270 runs to win the series against New Zealand. Day 5 to come tomorrow. Stokes had opened the batting for England in their second innings, but fell for 30 off 20 balls. He told TMS's Simon Mann that he made the decision to retire during this Test match.
I came into this week being very, not open-minded, I don't think it's the right word, but, giving myself as much time and, experience everything that a Test match week brings to you to see if I could really see myself, carrying on beyond the series and, being back in amongst it in the environment, I just can't see it. And then obviously with the emotion and the feeling that I got when I was getting my pads on ready to go out and bat in our first innings, those are ones that I felt before and just was like, right, okay, this is it. This is the one thing I didn't want to be thinking about or feeling like, and it's happening. So it's the final nail in the coffin, along with everything else.
And how do you feel about that now?
Lots of emotion. There's sadness. There's relief. There's happiness. There's excitement. Because I absolutely love cricket. I love the sport, and that's something that I need to make sure that I always feel like I'm doing. And over the last 6 months, 12 months, however long it may be, there's been certain moments where I felt like I haven't loved it. My time last week back with Durham, there wasn't a moment where I didn't. And so being able to compare what it was like being back at my county where everything sort of started with me and people who I grew up with, and then comparing it to here where I've always loved, to not feel that sense of love and complete and utter enjoyment like I have done for pretty much the whatever test matches before, then you just sort of know.
Incredible to be back on the top step. It's been a little while, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this one this evening.
That was Ben Stokes talking to TMS's Simon Mann. Mercedes' George Russell held off Red Bull's Max Verstappen to claim victory in the Austrian Grand Prix. Russell spoke after his first win since the opening race of the season.
Incredible to be back on the top step. It's been a little while, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this one this evening. A lot of hard work with my team to get us back on track. Obviously, there's a tricky run of form at one point. Max and Red Bull was incredible. They were incredibly quick this weekend, so I was having to push every single lap, and when you push those boundaries, there's bound to be a small mistake or two in there, and I knew just how quick the guys were behind. Obviously, Kimi's been extraordinarily quick this whole season, so every lap I was looking at the timing board. We pitted on the early side. I knew it was going to be a long stint, but the team timed it to perfection. Kudos to them, but yeah, thanks to everyone, thanks to the fans. It was pretty toasty out there.
George Russell speaking after his victory in the Austrian Grand Prix. Emma Raducanu will play at Wimbledon tomorrow despite carrying a leg injury. She's been speaking to Russell Fuller.
I would say this week it has definitely made the training week look a little bit different. I took a few days off to offload it and doing everything with my team possible to manage it and give it the best possible chance.
So are you confident you're going to be able to play on Monday?
That's the plan. I'm planning and shooting for that. We're going to do everything, going to continue treatment later on and going to keep consulting with them as well.
You had a lot of momentum after that Queen's final, winning the first 4 matches of the week. Has it affected the amount of practice you've been able to do since?
Yeah, I would say since Queen's I haven't practiced as much, but I think that's a compromise that we were willing, and it was probably the best option to do and to give it the chance to settle.
How do you find this time of year in general, Emma? Because it's very exciting for you, for all the British players, but I know that it comes with extra pressure and presumably therefore quite a lot of stress as well.
I mean, for me, I love it. It's funny because I feel like, this could be seen as one of the most stressful times of the year, but I never found it that, and I always thought it brought the best out of me, and I think at Queen's was also the same. I loved playing in front of a big home crowd, and I really enjoy the grass court season, and grass is also my favourite surface, and playing here at Wimbledon is just the best place in the world.
Coverage of Wimbledon on 5 Live starts here tomorrow from 1 and will continue across the fortnight. Let's get back to the football and Steve Clarke's resignation last night as Scotland manager. Former Scotland striker Chris Boyd gave us his reaction.
For me, the criticism, I think, has been way too much. For people that should know better as well, because these are guys who have went to tournaments, journalists, and I think some of the fans as well. Yes, they've spent good money. There's no getting away from that. But as I said, there's fans before them would have loved to have spent money to go and watch Scotland at a major tournament and haven't been able to because we haven't been there. So right now, as I said, it's raw. I think Steve Clarke is probably hurting because, when he looks back at his time in charge, getting us to 2 Euros, getting us to a World Cup, being Scotland's most successful manager, and leaves like this, would leave a sour taste in his mouth because we probably didn't realise what we had until it's gone. The SFA work within a wage structure as well. It's not a case where, you look at the England job, they can go and get whoever they want. There's other countries out there that can go and get whoever they want. I mean, Fabio Cannavaro is, I think is the 10th highest paid manager in the world with Uzbekistan. So, I mean, there's countries out there that can just go and spend money and get whoever they want. That's not the case with the SFA, and it's going to have to be within a wage structure. And ultimately, that then narrows it down. So, I mean, I don't think the SFA will even have considered who the next manager is going to be because they didn't see this one coming. And all of a sudden now, the SFA have got a big job in their hands to go and find a replacement because I don't see any outstanding candidate out there to ready to step into Steve Clarke's shoes.
Former Scotland striker Chris Boyd talking about Steve Clarke's shocking, really, resignation. The Canada players are out having a little chat in a huddle. The South Africa players only just come out. They've kept the Canada players waiting. Let's get back to Dion Dublin and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you very much, Rick. And South Africa are preparing a change at half-time with this match, the first knockout game for both nations in their history at World Cups. Goalless as we head into the second half. It's going to be the Orlando Pirates midfielder, Talent Mbata, who's another who can score from range, who's coming on, and we wait to see who he will replace. But in terms of what both sides need to do in this second half, Dion, of course we could be heading for extra time, we could be heading for penalties. Is this going to be about who now deals with the weight of occasion better? Because as we keep saying, it's history for both sides. They've never made it this far before, and at times it feels like that weight has weighed a little heavily. Almost momentum shift in the game. At one point it's looked away a bit more on South Africa, and then it's looked away a bit more on Canada. But is it about now who copes best with that?
Yeah, maybe. They've both got something to lose. I mean, no one's down at the moment, so they've both got the chance to go forward. I just think that South Africa have to do better in their own final third and stop giving the ball away. Canada have got to do better in the final third of South Africa and put their chances away. South Africa have just got to concentrate better. Passing's got to be better. I would switch the play from right to left, left to right quicker, and see if we can create something down the wings.
So it is South Africa who get us underway in this second half, and Bata is on. He's replaced his Orlando Pirates teammate Relebohile Mafokeng, who had a decent chance in the first half. But Bata on, and South Africa in possession with their goalkeeper Williams in goal. The back four of Mudau, Okong, Mbueza and Madiba, who made that brilliant clearance off the line late on from Moise Bombito's header in the first half to keep it at 0-0. Ahead of them it's Mokoena and Sitole, with Maseko and Batanau and Apolis supporting Mahopa up top. South Africa playing in their golden shirts, their green shorts and their golden socks. Canada in their all black change strip. And again, South Africa building from the back, from left to right in the early stages of this goalless second half, as Canada make the interception through Nathan Saliba. No changes for them at half-time. We'll take you through their lineup in a moment. But we have seen Ismail Kone inside the stadium with that broken leg, still on crutches. As Canada build down the right-hand side, Johnston will bring it forward. Did well to keep it in initially, but didn't look like he kept it in there. Play continues. Now Liam Miller, who blazes over. Well, it's been given as a goal kick. It really did look like that ball had gone well out of play from our vantage point, Dion, but the assistant is much closer than we are. High in the fifth tier here.
Oh, the ball's well out. It's well out. I've just seen a replay here. It's half a ball out. I can't believe he missed that. We are miles away, and we've seen that. On a screen, maybe, on a screen.
So, South Africa in possession just outside their own penalty area. But yes, great to see Ismail Kone here again. And I do wonder how many seats he had on the plane, because he's got the crutches, he's got the broken leg. Maybe they got him a separate plane.
As many as you like, young man. They just want him part of it. He would have been part of it, and a major part of it as well, if he hadn't had that horror injury. We've seen how they've all looked after him and got round him and want him all involved. It's a very important thing when something like that happens to one of your teammates, and you just want him in the dressing room as well, because I'm sure he's very good vocally as well.
Yes, it's something that Jesse Marsh has really underlined, that togetherness. Says it's as good as just about any team he's managed before. It's the hallmark of Canada. As the ball is all the way back to Ronman Williams of South Africa, who plays it out to the left-hand side, and now Mokoena in central midfield. Madiba, who made that clearance, as we say, actually cleared a header off the line in the opening minute last match against South Korea as well. So two huge moments. South Korea was the game that South Africa won to reach the knockout stages for the first time, and if they progress here, well, he has been involved again at a crucial time for his country. Right place, right time, very much so, as Saliba plays it forward. Buchanan can't control, and South Africa will try and bring it forward once more and win a free kick just outside the centre circle. So Canada with Crepeau in goal. The back four of Johnston, Bombito making his first start of the tournament after injury. Cornelius, he missed a great chance in the first half, and Larea. Ahead of them, Buchanan, Saliba, Eustakio and Miller, with the record goal scorer Jonathan David, supported by Oluwaseyi up top, as the sun once again beams down brightly through the enormous translucent roof above us here at SoFi Stadium, live in California from Los Angeles, here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Maseko would work down the right-hand side, and he was just held up illegally there, so it will be a free kick to South Africa. And this will be taken by Mudau. Steers it back to Ime Okon, to his centre-half partner Mbueza. South Africa working forward down the left-hand side, but again, Saliba is there for Canada. It's laid off by Jonathan David, but can't find a teammate, and Sitole will just steer it back once more. They are looking confident and comfortable in position, South Africa, when they do get on the ball.
Yeah, but they're turning down passes, especially in the midfield as well. They're turning down passes when they should really be looking forward. Sitole and Quaina, they've got to get the passing forward. Stop looking for the easy pass. Look for those more difficult passes that might be more rewarding.
Well, as if we weren't high up enough here already. Oh, he's just got away now as South Africa have possession. In fact, the whistle's gone, so it's being called back for a free kick to Canada. But I was going to say, every time something happens on this near touchline, here up high in the 5th tier, we have to lean forward. And there is a chap in an orange uniform, and you would see this, of course, at American sports stadiums. He just came with the most enormous long bag of popcorn I think I've ever seen, started waving it around. And I thought, well, I hope nobody attacks down the right-hand side, because we're not going to be able to see the edge of the penalty area with the popcorn in the way. So, throw to Canada over on the far side. Interception again by South Africa.
Let's go,
and Canada have another throw deep in South African territory. This the first ever last 32 tie at a World Cup. It kicks off the knockout stages, and it is fair to say that although there have been good moments, and although overall tactically it's been pretty absorbing, we're waiting for it to spring into life as Canada launch the throw into the area. It's flicked on, cleared away by South Africa, out of the penalty area, and will be brought down by Canada once again and played to Larea inside the centre circle. Larea, who had that penalty appeal turned down at the end of the first half. And Liam Miller was as one. All the commentators lean forward to try and see that near touchline. In possession for Canada, who've worked it to the centre circle. And Nathan Saliba out to the right-hand side now, and Celtic's Alistair Johnston. Canada on top. Canada the favourites in this game. The co-hosts playing outside Canada for the first time in this tournament. They are the better supported inside the stadium if we're just going by shirt colours. That swathe of Canadian fans, a slice of the stand away to our right. But plenty of yellow South Africa shirts dotted around as well. As Canada and Alistair Johnston prepare to take this long throw once again. It's Johnston to launch it in. It's flicked behind by Oluwaseyi. He just can't really get into the game at the moment. And again, South Africa will have a goal kick, which this time they take quickly, looking to catch Canada off guard, and they have it midway through the Canadian half, working it between them. It's Maseko eventually who will bring it away, and then the run made forward from Mbata. Larea, brave header away inside his own penalty area, and there was a bit of a high boot there from Talent Mbata, the substitute, so the whistle's gone, and it's going to be a free kick to Canada inside their own penalty area. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, he has that in his locker. Ronwen Williams, he's got a really nice strike of the ball, the South African goalkeeper. And on that occasion, he thinks, let me just try and get my two forwards in on goal. They were one-on-one. Even off the floor, he strikes the ball well. So as a Canadian defender, you've really got to be on your mettle.
So South Africa with a throw on this near side as Jesse Marsh comes to the edge of his technical area. Very interesting to be inside the Canadian dressing room at half-time. If you're just joining us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Jesse Marsh at the end of the first half, the Canada manager, the former Leeds United boss of course, strode onto the pitch wanting to confront the Portuguese referee João Pinheiro, and he had to be stopped by his own player Moise Bombito, the centre half, who went to his manager, and again 5 tiers up, we can't see exactly what he said, but it felt like it was, "Gaffer, go and calm down, we'll see you in the dressing room," and he stopped Jesse Marsh getting anywhere near the referee. I mean, that is unusual. We've seen managers come on before, but for a player to have to go straight to a manager, we see them do it to other teammates, but when it's your manager that you think, hang on, he's lost his head here, I'm going to have to get in the way. Rather remarkable. South Africa have a free kick just inside their own half, 0-0.
It is good though, it's good. The big centre half said, right, listen, you don't need this. Boss, you don't need this at the moment. You're feel a bit hot-headed, so let's just calm you down, get in the dressing room, we'll have a chat. You're not going to change anything now apart from getting sent off or getting a yellow card. So good play, very much the togetherness you were talking about.
Well, speaking of good play, that was beautiful from Mudau. Eventually South Africa have got a free kick and Saliba has gone into the book, but beautiful couple of touches from Mudau. First a nutmeg, then another beautiful touch to keep the ball for South Africa, and then he was hauled back by Saliba.
I mean, Mudal there just popping it through Miller's legs, and then Miller's mate Saliba saying, "Oh, you can't do that to me, mate. Get nutmegs on him and get the ball the other side." He did, and he got hauled back by Saliba. Saliba gets a yellow card.
So Saliba, the first player of these knockout stages, into the book. Yellow cards were white at the end of the group stage, so if you'd picked up 2, you'd still have a ban for the knockout stage, but they reset because of the expanded tournament. Basically, FIFA doesn't want people getting suspended later on in the tournament.
I don't know about you, Vicky, but somebody burnt the toast. All I can smell is burnt toast. Somebody's burnt something here. What's going on?
It's true, actually.
Isn't it?
Just looking around and just making sure we can't see any spiral of smoke rising from any pieces of kit in the gantry. I can't see any toaster, but yes, I can definitely smell something that smells like burnt toast. The South Africa have it down the left-hand side. Still inside their own half. It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and that's lovely play from South Africa as they're coming forward again, out to the right-hand side, and Maseko. He's got Mudal there with him. Maseko still going, still tricking his way through. And now Mudal brought into play, but the groans because he was forced wide out of the penalty area there. South Africa still have it. And it's the substitute Mbata. In field now to Sitole. And now Mbueza, as they work it out to the left-hand side now. Canada's black shirts back defending as Crepeau will watch that cross and pluck it out of the sky inside his own 6-yard box. South Africa 0, Canada 0. 10 minutes gone in this second half.
Yeah, Crepeau does well, actually. It's not a bad cross. I mean, it's got a lot of air on it. He's crossed it from quite deep on the left-hand side, and Crepeau's had to come and take it at its highest point. Does really well. Takes the pressure off his team there.
So South Africa in possession. Out to the left-hand side they go, looking for back-to-back victories at a World Cup for the very first time. Canada looking for only their second ever victory at a World Cup, having thumped 9-man Qatar 6-0 in the group stages to make that little bit of history. As Maseko goes down, the free kick's actually gone the way of Canada. No real protest from South Africa, but they might be a little bit unfortunate there, although Canada do have a player down, and there may have been a little bit extra to that we didn't see, as the camera focuses in on Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, watching on. It's Eustachio who's down, as we just see a replay of this. It was a little bit clumsy, the two of them coming together, Eustachio and Maseko, and a little bit of an awkward fall possibly for Eustachio.
It may be the way he's fallen, or an upper body injury. It's a face, I think he might have banged his face. He's moving now on those screens, you can see him. Or a neck injury maybe.
Yeah, he's rubbing the back of his dark hair, Stefan Eustachio. As the Mexican wave ripples past the commentary position. No commentators getting involved because we're all focused on Stefan Eustachio, who thankfully is now kneeling up and just having a swig of water. And it looks as though he is going to be okay.
Yeah, he's up and he's walking off the pitch now. He's had a bit of treatment. I mean, I know exactly firsthand what that's like when you feel something in your neck or in and around your head. You stay still and you think, am I all right? I need to get my bearings first. I'm going to try and move. Oh, there's no pain. I'm okay. Having broken my neck in 1998 playing for Aston Villa, I know that you do take your time and you think, let me just give it 30 seconds.
So Eustachio up to his feet, and here is a double change. It's going to be for Canada. De Fougerolles is on for Moise Bombito, and Nico Seeger has come on as well. And Eustachio, it looks as though he's going to be able to continue. So Nathan Saliba has made way for Nico Seeger. So double change for Canada. And it does feel like they just need something, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. Both sides need a bit of energy at the moment. And neither of these sides, if they play like this, are going to go any further in this competition, regardless of who's wins. There hasn't been enough quality. There's not been enough intent as well. They've looked quite organised. They've looked quite robust, but they do need a little bit more quality. Players down there that have just got to show flashes of something to really get them through at the moment.
So South Africa looking to pick up the ball once more. Canada have won it though. Just will keep it in on this near side, and Diffuser of Fulham, who spent this season on loan with Dender in Belgium, will get his foot on the ball as Derek Cornelius plays it forwards. Now Oluwaseyi infield to Jonathan David, Canada's record goal scorer, but he's surrounded by a swarm of South African golden shirts. Take it off his toes. Canada come forward once again. It's Liam Miller, cleared away once more by South Africa. Wasn't the best ball from Miller. Might have touched the referee there. Yes, it did. Yes, the referee now apologising because Canada are furious. Derek Cornelius had poached it and was steaming forward, but we did say it looked as though it might have got a little nick off the referee as South Africa cleared. Oh, did it? I'm not sure. Or is he saying that there might have been a foul in there? No, it's a drop ball, so he's saying it did take a little nick off him.
Touched his leg, yeah. I think it was Cornelius just gambling in front of the centre forward, and it took a nick off the referee. Whether the nick off the referee put it into Cornelius's path, who knows? But if it touches the ref, it has to be given back to the team that had the ball.
And that is exactly what's happened, and what's happening again is that Ronwen Williams is taking his time again, the South Africa goalkeeper. Again, as you said, Dion, in the first half, they're just trying to draw that Canadian forward line, Oluwaseyi and Jonathan David, towards the penalty area as the ball is then straight out of play. But they are rather turning the neutrals against them, South Africa, by that play. I mean, they won't care if they feel it's a tactic that's worth doing, but I feel like this crowd, you know, as we said, there's a lot of Mexico fans in here as the ball goes out of play for a South Africa throw on the halfway line. A lot of Mexico fans here because this could have been Mexico's last 32 games. They've come anyway in their green Mexico shirts to support their team. And it feels like, unless you're of a Canadian or South African persuasion, in which case you know who you're supporting, the rest of the fans in here are just happy to support any sort of attacking play.
Yeah, just want to be at a game, at the World Cup, the occasion, the event. They're here today having a good time, buying the popcorn off the popcorn sellers and enjoying themselves in the concourse. But there's a hardcore of South Africa fans as well, and a hardcore of Canadian fans that want their team to win. There's no sitting on the fence with them.
Now we've got to say, South Africa have it inside their own half. Looking around the stadium, it is almost full, but we can see a fair few dark blue empty seats here. Again, ticket prices have been such a conversation at this World Cup as South Africa pick it up outside the penalty area, and the shot driven in, and it's driven wide by Oswin Apollis. Decent opening for South Africa, and Apollis can't take it.
Yeah, I mean, Apollos, it's a lovely little sort of shimmy from right to left. He's only 20 yards out. Strikes it, cuts across it though. He's literally not too far from centre, 25 yards out. Cuts across it, strikes the ball to the left, and it goes to the right. If he hits that clean, he's going to give Crepo a problem. Half chance so for South Africa, which is much better than what they've had so far in this game.
Yes, chances for South Africa have certainly been at a premium. Canada have had some great ones, but they haven't been able to take any of them, as Hugo Broos, the history-making manager, the Belgian for South Africa, becoming the oldest manager to take charge of a World Cup knockout match at 74 years of age. Watches on as South Africa play it forward once again. Might have been an offside there. Referee's going to let play continue because Canada are in possession, and that's good officiating. Here come Canada over the halfway line as they drive forward once more. It's Seeger, the substitute. Down the right-hand side he goes, looking for the run of Buchanan, but it's well marshalled away by Mbweza. And the ball goes out of play for a Canada throw.
It's better, isn't it, from Canada? What Canada do better than South Africa is they do look to go forward, and they do look to play forward into their midfield a lot quicker. South Africa tend to keep it around Ronwen Williams, and they try to play slow, and that's not really going to affect Canada in any way, shape or form. Canada looking to get forward quicker, more dynamic, therefore creating more chances.
Can they fashion one with the long throw of Celtic's Alistair Johnston? In it goes, cleared away by Sithole for South Africa. Canada will pick it up again. The gold shirts are deep, so they have the option to play it forward, but it's a poor ball. It's over the head of Tajon Buchanan. And Ronwen Williams urged to play it quickly and does so. And it's lovely distribution. Dion Dublin picked that out earlier. That was super from the goalkeeper. Ball goes out of play, South Africa throw. And that's the frustration from a neutral perspective. His distribution is fabulous. And most of the time he's just delaying and delaying. As Sitole has it, plays it straight into the Canadian player in Buchanan. And here come Canada. It's Seeger, plays it forward. And they could be in here, Canada. And it's a brilliant save by Ronwen Williams. And then some more fabulous defending. That is outstanding from Mbueza. Oh, Canada thought they were in there. Canada thought this was the moment. But some superb defending from that South African back line. First denies Oluwaseyi with Ronwen Williams, and then a fabulous challenge running towards his own goal. Mbueza making sure that Canada on the follow-up can't get there with Jonathan David. What defending, Canada corner.
Brilliant. Mbueza brilliant as well, staying alive. Williams, the keeper, staying alive, standing big as well. Two unbelievable stops defensively there for South Africa. Needed as well, because Canada are coming.
It has lifted this stadium. Eustachio to take the corner for Canada from the far side. Swings it in right-footed, and it's headed behind by Luc de Fougerolles of Fulham.
I don't think de Fougerolles was expecting that, to be honest with you. He should have been ready for that one. It's outswinger straight onto his forehead. If he'd have headed that straight and true, that would have gone in the back of the net. Really good last-ditch defending, though, from South Africa. Really was good. Williams came out so quickly, stayed big on the angle. Left-hand save. And Mbueza there sprinting back and making sure that that ball goes nowhere near his goal.
Well, they have pulled off some unbelievable blocks at last-ditch moments, South Africa. And it's funny because when you talk about last-ditch defending, bodies on the line, sometimes it can feel fortunate. It's not. This has been excellent positioning as Canada have it with their goalkeeper, Maxime Crepeau, inside his own penalty area. It's been great positioning. It's been very good execution in very difficult moments.
Yeah. And it's actually getting hotter as well. The temperature's getting hotter. They've just got to stop creating chances, stop creating mistakes, South Africa, because you just can't keep doing it. Yes, it's great to do it, and it's great positional play, but you can't keep doing it because you will come a cropper.
Well, a little flick by Seeger doesn't come off, and he's committed a foul here, and I think this might be a yellow card for Nico Seeger, the Canadian substitute. Yes, it is.
Wrong side, centre of the pitch, right-hand side. Just gets turned, and then that's it. Grab the shirt, yellow card. Here we go. Another hydration break.
Well, as Dion Dublin says, it is getting a little bit hotter, but again, you can hear what the fans inside SoFi Stadium think of this, because really, it's not quite hot enough, but it's a break, and again it's going to be about momentum. 0-0, a quarter of the game to play. Otherwise, in the first knockout match at a World Cup for South Africa and Canada, we'll be heading to extra time. Rick Edwards.
I mean, decent chance for South Africa after 61 minutes, and they've been at a bit of a premium, but it's kind of a reminder for Canada that for all their pressure, South Africa are offering something up top, Deal.
Yeah, 0-0, Rick. Anything can happen here. It doesn't really matter how you play. It's what the result is at the end. I mean, it's not a great game to watch. Canada have had the better chances, probably been the better team. South Africa have been very resolute and defended incredibly well, but I mean, you've got to do a lot more. Both sides have got to do a lot more if they want to progress in this competition. Not enough quality on show. Finishing hasn't been good. Defending's been great. But yeah, you've got to do more than that.
And then that big chance for Canada just before the hydration break. Seems like before every hydration break, Canada have a big chance. And it's a terrific save. And then it's a really sensationally good block by the defender running back towards his goal, Vicky.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I think this is it. They've had those moments in the game where they've had to do last-ditch defending, but it's been of an incredibly high quality, and as you say, that clearance from Mbueza running back towards his own goal, knowing that he has to get there to nick it away from Jonathan David. Fantastic.
I mean, I guess Canada look the most likely to win this in normal time, Dion?
Yeah, I would agree at the moment. Even they haven't been very, very good today. Jesse Marsh is getting incredibly irate. We're just getting some close-ups on our screens here of a few highlights of him, and he's banging the ground and he's shouting at his players to do more. At the moment, a 0-0 draw is about right for both these sides. Nobody really deserves to win it, but if anybody is, with the way that they're getting into the final third, it seems to be Canada. South Africa play the ball quicker, get it in behind. The keeper Williams has got a great strike in as well. He might set an attack going as well for South Africa. Even Stevens though, pal.
I mean, at this stage of the game, are we going to see Alphonso Davies or not?
Be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice. I think that would be the loudest noise in this stadium if we see him. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Not seen him yet. By the way, even if he was warming up, we couldn't see him because we can't even see down there.
Right, hydration break done. Last quarter. Doesn't feel right saying that, does it? But that's what it is. To play. Vicky Dion.
Thank you very much, Rick. So a double change for Canada, but no Alphonso Davies as yet. Liam Miller and Tani Oluwaseyi off. Promise David and Jacob Shackelberg on. Now, Promise David, the last time he came on as a sub here for Canada was in their last match against Switzerland. Dion and I were there in Vancouver to see it. 72 seconds it took him to score.
Yeah, and what a goal it was as well. Great little goal, little volley from across. I mean, he came in, went straight up front, crossed it, scored. They're going to need that kind of impact from him as soon as possible.
Well, someone is going to be a hero. Someone is going to make more history for their country. Because either South Africa or Canada will be heading through to the last 16 to face either the Netherlands or Morocco. And it will be, for both sides, the furthest they have ever been. They've never reached a knockout stage before, but here they are playing in the last 32. The first ever last 32 of a FIFA World Cup. It hasn't been the best game. Dion is quite right when he says that, as the free kick goes and South Africa get the decision. But whoever wins, Dion, isn't going to care a bit, because it's going to be more celebration, more history. Someone needs to take their moment.
They do. And, you know, as I've said, the quality hasn't been brilliant in this game at all. And they will, whoever it may be, will have to pick up their pace, pick up their bits of individual quality. Because lineups, formations have been fine, and, you know, I can't fault commitment, but in order to go high in this competition, you've got to show a little bit more promise, pardon the pun, and a little bit more quality.
Let's see if Promise David can do that for Canada, and perhaps Evidence Mahopa, who's still leading the line for South Africa. And it is they who have the throw. It's taken by Mudau, and in field now to Mbata, driving towards that Canadian penalty area, just can't find his centre-half partner, Mokoena. And Canada will clear up towards the tall figure of Promise David. South Africa make the interception, but Cornelius will send it forward for Canada once more. A little miscontrol on this near side, and Larea, under pressure, scoops the ball out of play for a South Africa throw. 0-0.
Yeah, it's the story of the game. It's just that last pass, the quality of the last pass that gets your teammate in. Hasn't been good enough. It's just been cut out, or it's been behind him, or it's been too far. That's the little bit that they're missing.
As Canada try to steal it on the far side with Buchanan, can't do so. And then, is that a foul there by Alistair Johnston? Yes, it was. It's going to be a free kick to South Africa, just inside their own half, as their manager Hugo Broos watches on. Again, we say, he said before this tournament he was going to retire at the end of the tournament, so this could be his last game. However, in his press conference yesterday, he suggested he might reconsider. He did say it would definitely be his last World Cup, the 74-year-old. But I don't know whether you experienced this, Dion. He said the closer the end comes, even if you've decided it will be the end, the more you start thinking about it. I don't know for the moment. I'll still stay with my decision, but maybe we can find something in South Africa where I don't have to be there so much and I can be with my family more. As South Africa played around the back, these are the boos that you're hearing because the crowd want to see attacking football. But it's so hard, isn't it? Even in your mind when you're like, yeah, this is the time. As that time comes ever closer, you start thinking. He was saying he was watching clips in his hotel room and thinking, oh, this is great actually, when they beat South Korea.
I mean, you can't get sucked in by the fans, and I know they want you to play forward, but Canada are not breaking rank, so he's got the ball at his feet. He's had his ball at his feet a lot trying to play out now, South Africa.
And this is why they've done what they've done, because this is a great counter, and now the fans are turning. It's a Polis out to the left-hand side as the gold shirts swarm forward for South Africa. Poor delivery, but it was kept in. They'll try and latch onto it inside the penalty area. It's Maseko, and now driven in from distance and scooped over. Well, the shot in the end came in from about 30 yards and wasn't troubling Crepo, but there's an example of why South Africa have delayed, trying to pull Canada out of position, and it almost paid off when they did eventually work the ball forwards.
Yeah, the chance is kind of gone because they went from a really good crossing position in order to have a shot from 25 yards, which was null and void.
Well, hear that roar, because Canada have made a substitution, and they've made it so quickly that I think half the stadium didn't realise what has just happened, but this is huge. Their captain, Alphonso Davies, is on, replacing Tajon Buchanan, his first appearance of this World Cup, his first appearance for Canada since doing his ACL at this very stadium against the USA back in March 2025. He has played since then. He recovered from the ACL, but he's really struggled this season with hamstring injuries for Bayern Munich. That's why he hasn't played here, but he is on the pitch now. He is such a huge player, not just for Canada but just in general. He is world class. Can he inspire Canada to the last 16, or will South Africa, who have held their own in this game very much so, be the ones to cause another upset, just as they did against South Korea? But here we go. It's Canada in possession. It's Alphonso Davies. The ball forward is promised, David. It's just wide. I think Roman Williams had it covered, but there you go. Alphonso Davies on and immediately fashions a chance.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball in. Really good ball in to his centre forward. Centre forward just drops it off, leaves it on the edge of the box, just stops the ball, and then gets out the way. And Promise there, really just pulling it wide of the right-hand post of the keeper's goal there. Should have done better. Should have struck through the ball with his laces. But again, as soon as you get that lift, the energy in your team's good, your best player's on, something's going to happen. You start to believe.
So the attendance announced here inside SoFi Stadium, just shy of 70,000, 69,237, so almost at capacity, but as we say, there are a sprinkling of dark blue seats around the stands. Alphonso Davies, incidentally, he's playing on the left wing. He can play left back or left wing, but Canada need him in an attacking sense, and here he is. Lovely bit of skill, lovely turn. Oh, they've missed him. How they've missed him. Even just that little bit of skill in a tight area. He has given Canada a lift, and this has been the gamble for Jesse Marsh, as Promise David keeps it in on this left-hand side. If they've got to play extra time, they'll get another sub in extra time, but Alphonso Davies, how much of this game can he play? And he must have gambled now that with 13 minutes plus added time to play, he can make it through extra time and potentially penalties, even though they will get another chance to have a change in extra time as well. They've made 5 substitutes in this first 90 minutes, and here is one of them, Alphonso Davies, the captain, to Eustachio, the man who's been deputising with the skipper's armband. Back to Alphonso Davies once more, into the area he goes. Oh, lovely ball, plays it through, Jonathan David, tight angle, parried away by Roman Williams. Canada trying to keep it alive. Oh, he makes such a difference. Canada lifted, Canada buoyed, still South Africa nil, Canada nil, Canada throw near side. It's all changed.
Yeah, I mean, Davies down the left. He's just what he's doing. He's just teasing them in. He's playing good passes, little 1-2s, getting his teammate in. Jonathan David there, good chance. Keeper stood tall. I mean, the energy's lifted now. The whole of the players, the Canadian players, they've all moved forward, getting closer to the South African goal in expectation of chances. One player comes on, changes everything.
And it's fair to say Canada have been on top, Canada have had the better chances, but for much of the game it's been pedestrian, it's been cautious. He has lifted it, he has taken them up a level, and now it's backs to the wall for South Africa, who themselves have put together some nice moves, have fashioned some chances, perhaps not as many or not as clear as Canada's, But Canada, the co-hosts, the favourites for this game, with renewed belief with their skipper on the pitch. Here's Derek Cornelius. Has it just inside the South Africa half, and now Eustachio. Left-hand side, plays it all the way back to Maxime Crepeau. And de Fougerolles of Fulham will collect now for Canada. Out to the left-hand side, and Derek Cornelius, he missed that huge chance in the first half, and now Alphonso Davies once again back from Eustachio. And Davies back to Cornelius, and South Africa in shape, marshalling well, now closing down Crepeau is their striker, Evidence Mahopa, and then headed away by the right back Kaliso Mudau. And we'll come over to this left-hand side for a Canadian throw, taken quickly by Stefan Eustachio. We've got just over 10 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, live from LA, the SoFi Stadium. Will it be Canada? Will it be South Africa heading into the last 16, the furthest they've ever been? This is the furthest they've ever been, out of the groups for the first time, both of them. South Africa at their 4th World Cup, Canada at their 3rd. But a tie with either the Netherlands or Morocco on the 4th of July in Houston awaits the winners. As Davies sees that ball blocked away, and South Africa will clear, but it's a poor clearance. It's picked up by Nico Seeger, tried to squeeze it to the edge of the area, and Jonathan David, but it's blocked away once more by South Africa. Canada have it again. Eustachio back to Derek Cornelius, the centre half, a third of the way inside the South Africa half. Then a swiped pass from Eustachio was poor, but South Africa have given the ball away. They just cannot alleviate this Canadian pressure. It's a Canada throw.
Yeah, they can't at the moment because everything's coming down the left-hand side, obviously. All those South African players now just staring at Canada's left wing, knowing it's going to go down there. As I say that, commentators curse is going down the right-hand side.
Jonathan David's popped out on the right wing as Johnston plays it into the area for Canada. It's cleared away by Mudau and picked up by South Africa, but they are under such pressure from the black shirts. Schaffelberg is trying to stop the counter, and he's given the free kick away over on the far side. And it's going to be a set piece for South Africa. Now, if you're South Africa, Dion, tactically, what do?
Get it forward and try and win the game, because you're going to get more tired and more tired. You can't play this way for this long and expect to go through. They've tried to play long at times. Listen, get the ball forward, get into dangerous areas. Don't be too clever, especially not at the back, because Canada are buoyed by Davies being on. Even in this game, it's 0-0. They've still got a great chance. Only takes one mistake.
Oh, that's a lovely ball forward, and it's promised David just outside the penalty area. Well defended, and then couldn't squeeze it to his namesake, no relation, Jonathan David. That was a huge opportunity for Canada, and they just couldn't sort out what they were doing there, as the ball is all the way back with the South Africa captain and goalkeeper, Ronman Williams, who is standing with his hands next to the ball, daring Jonathan David to come and close him down. Now he will release it. And the referee there, I think, started the countdown and then realised, hang on a minute, it's not actually a goal kick, so I can't do that. So, cleared away by South Africa, chested down by Johnson. That's a good ball in field to Eustachio. Oh, lovely touch. Took it away from the on-rushing South Africa player as Canada try and work it forward. It's intercepted by Mbata. He gets it back from Mokoena. And now Mbata will take it down the left-hand side. Just overran it there, but actually almost turned into a brilliant ball for Oswin Apollis. Well intercepted by de Fougerolles. And it is finally just opening up a little bit with 7.5 minutes to play. We're seeing a few spaces as Schaffelberg down the right-hand side, but again, can't find a teammate in Promise David on the edge of the penalty area. And now it's Canada who are suddenly stretched. Evidence Mahopa plays it in field. A little slip though from Maseko. And Canada will bring it forward once again over the halfway line. Here is Alphonso Davies, his first minutes of this World Cup, their influential captain. Well dispossessed though by Mudau. And South Africa will bring it forward once again. 0-0, 7 minutes to go. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I mean, Mahopa there, he's getting... Musaka there, he's with him. All he's got to do is play the ball in front of him. Again, it's a bad decision. Mahopa there plays it to him. He's trying to run forward as quick as possible. Has to stop, loses the ball. Momentum gone.
South Africa in possession midway through their own half. We are heading in this first knockout game of this World Cup 2026 for extra time. Unless Either South Africa or Canada can find a late goal. Again, Ronwen Williams. I mean, look, OK, he has delayed a lot over clearances because that's clearly been part of the plan, but he had it for a grand total of about 2 seconds there and got roundly booed. I do feel sorry for him, Dion, as South Africa come forward once again. Here is Oswin-Apollis, 30 yards out, bit of space, there's to shoot by some, he is going to shoot, and Crepo's there, spilled it, but nobody was close enough on the follow-up, even though Maseko was following in. It was straightforward in the end for Crepo, but I think he just wanted to take that extra touch, didn't try to hold it, wanted to be safe, and was, as Johnston, lovely ball to find Schaffelberg outside the area, now a bit of space for Jonathan David, Schaffelberg once again, but again can't pick out the teammate, and South Africa will clear. There just hasn't been enough quality on that final pass for Canada, particularly in the last 10 minutes.
No, and South Africa as well, it's the story of the game, it really is.
Oh, interesting that. Derek Cornelius went absolutely flying in, looked straight at the referee, thought he'd given away a free kick on Mudau, who went to the floor, but referee says get up Mudau and play on. So he's trying to get back in position. Alphonso Davies has it for Canada just outside the penalty area, again tried to go past two players, that didn't work out, and Sitole will bring it away as South Africa look to counter down the left hand side with Madiba, and all of a sudden, Dion, we finally got some pace in this game.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a game on our hands now because the whole of that midfield is pretty vacant, so you've got people running with the ball, people running the ball into that area, playing it forward. I mean, you've got defence and you've got no midfield at all. It's so open now.
Oswin-Apollis has done really well there, twisting and turning, retaining possession. In the end, Canada commit the foul, and South Africa have the free kick, third of the way inside the Canadian half. 0-0, and they're preparing to make a double change, South Africa. Evidence Mahopa, their striker, is going off, and he is going to be replaced by Ikram Reyners. And the second change is going to see Tepang Moremi, who is nicknamed Raya Vaya, which translates as fast like a bus. He is on.
I've never seen
and
a fast
Maseko
bus.
is off. I mean, that's it. I was going to say, it depends on the bus, doesn't it?
It does, yes. Is it a coach? Is it a bus? Is it an 8-seater bus? What is it? I don't know.
Is it going through central London, or is it, you know,
Is it a
speeding down the M1 as the ball is into the Canada penalty area? It's cleared away. And here come Canada over the halfway line. It's Schaffelberg, very, very well challenged again. Superb defending by Mbueza. I'll tell you what, if South Africa go through, he will have been at the heart of the reason why defensively, as Mudau draws the foul from Larea, and this will be a free kick for South Africa, but more excellent defending from Mbueza.
I mean, he's done great, by the way. He's actually made some really good last ditch challenges on his feet, stayed on his feet, and he's gone to ground, he's blocked crosses. Like a one-man defence for South Africa today.
Canada in possession. It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, with 3 minutes plus added time to play. Otherwise, in the last 32 here live in LA, we will be heading for extra time. South Africa in possession on the halfway line. Here is Ocon. Plays it forwards once more, but Canada make the interception through Eustachio, and he'll pick it up once again. And Canada now with the chance to get bodies forward down the left-hand side. Alphonso Davies chops the ball to the edge of the area, but I'll tell you what, it's catching. Even Canada's captain can't pick out a teammate there. And it's not just that they're close but no cigar. They are nowhere near finding their teammates with those balls. South Africa can, though. Here they come with Ikram Reyners down the left-hand side. And now they spread it to the right and looking for the run of Oswin-Apollis, who collects it and steers it back to Mudau. But again, a little bit of caution from South Africa. They don't want to throw it away here in these final stages of normal time. Even though Dion Dublin would like to see them throw everything forwards, you just wonder whether extra time might be on their minds, as Madiba does brilliantly to keep that in over on the left-hand side and stop that going out for a Canada throw on the halfway line, and then very nonchalantly plays the ball back to a teammate on the halfway line, and South Africa will build once more from the back. Goalless, 2 minutes plus added time to play.
Yeah, they know it's close now. It's only I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. There'll be 2 or 3 minutes on this one as well. Extra time to play, and it's so close.
Here goes Oswin-Apollis as South Africa come, and they almost almost got through there. Ikram Reyners, their striker, the substitute on the edge of the D, is dispossessed. Whistle's gone. Free kick Canada with Derek Cornelius down. South Africa's turn to protest. Oh, if he could have controlled that, what a chance that was.
Yeah, well, that's the story of the game, isn't it? It's just that final little bit. He was actually in. I mean, his touch lets him down, and Defugero comes in and clears it. Otherwise, he's on goal, one-on-one against Crepeau. They have a difference. That's the difference between going through and extra time and not going through. And quality.
And quality again lacking for Canada on that far side. Schaffelberg won't keep it in. South Africa take the throw quickly. And here is Mbata. And he plays it back to the centre half, Ocon. South Africa midway through their own half. Canada holding their positions, 30 seconds plus added time to play. And again the boos for poor Ronwen Williams as the ball goes back to him. I mean, if they're going to boo the goalie, they have to boo the entire defence here.
He can't do anything about it, can he? They're trying to bring him into play. They're trying to get him to play the ball quicker, the fans, but he won't give a damn. At this present time, they're still in it. As poor as they've been, they're still in it at 0-0.
And they're in possession midway through their own half. Ocon, that was a little bit short there to Sitole, but they get away with it. And Canada just stepping off now as well, Dion. I feel like you want to be down there and give them a bit of energy as we get to 5 minutes of added time.
Exactly, yeah. 5 minutes of added time. You are going to get caught out if you play too many slow balls back to your keeper. They'll edge forward, Canada, they'll edge forward and they'll nick it and they'll be on goal.
And can they do that here? Jonathan David missed control on the halfway line. Here comes South Africa, but it's behind Oswinapolis. And Jonathan David will get another chance, still inside his own half, and now over the halfway line he goes. Canada's record goal scorer, looking for Alphonso Davies. Good interception by Kaliso Mudau, who's been excellent, the right back for South Africa.
Yeah, really good, very, very consistent. No matter who's playing down the left for Canada, he has stood to his task. He's made good challenges, gone to ground when he needs to, and he's tucked in at that far post as well to head a few away.
So Defugero for Canada out to the right hand side, and Jacob Schaffelberg. Defugero once more, Seeger and Schaffelberg down the right wing. This is nicely worked by Canada, ball into the area, it's cleared away by Ocon. Eustachio! Hear the cry of Canada! Stefan Eustachio has surely made more history for the co-hosts. He's put them on the brink of the last 16 in added time against South Africa. It's Canada who lead 1-0 with the low driven shot into the bottom corner from Stefan Eustachio.
If there's one player you want the ball to fall to, it's Eustachio. His free kicks have been on point, his corners have been on point, and he receives the ball on the edge of the box. Lovely touch to keep it close to him, and Eustachio just keeps his laces over the ball, kicks it into the ground, goes to his left, keeper's right. Ronwen Williams has got no chance because the pace, the power and the direction is absolutely perfect. Eustachio, what a game he's had.
Well, he plays his club football in LA, not at this stadium but for LAFC. And what a moment he has created in Los Angeles for Canada. As South Africa see their ball forward intercepted, and Canada are coming forward once again. Schaffelberg goes down. No free kick given as Eustachio's name is announced in the stadium and roared around SoFi. Because Canada are so close now, moments away. 2 minutes of added time away from the last 16. That's a short back pass, and Crepeau had to be out quickly, the Canada goalkeeper. Anywhere will do now for Canada as South Africa, brave South Africa who have battled so hard, look to get something towards the area, but it's actually Canada who come forward. Promise David though, dispossessed on the edge of the box, and South Africa will bring it away. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, if I'm Canada now, I'm just putting that ball into the corners, right into the channels, right into South Africa's final third, and I'm getting the ball away from my goal as quick as possible. We've only got a minute and a half left, you know.
And the offside flag goes up against South Africa. And it's the Canadian fans inside SoFi Stadium who are celebrating that swathe of red that spans up 4 tiers of this 5-tier stadium. They're bouncing up and down, they're waving the Canadian flag, the red and white with the emblazoned red maple leaf on it. My word, Dion, it has not been a cracker, but
no.
As we said after the second hydration break, whoever wins won't care a jot. And at the moment, Canada are about to start an almighty party here in Los Angeles unless South Africa, in the final 45 seconds, can find a leveller and take this game to extra time.
Yeah, again, as I've said before, get it forward to Promise David, get it into the corners, defend as a team. You are through at the moment. How much do you want it? Put your body on the line. You've got it, it's yours.
But here comes South Africa. Madiba, he's challenged by Schaffelberg, who swipes the ball over the halfway line. It's a great clearance. Ronwen Williams, the captain for South Africa, coming forward. No hesitation now. Forward has got to go. 10 seconds to play. Can South Africa find a late leveller? They've got the gold shirts forward, and Canada suddenly in disarray. Ball into the area, cleared away by Cornelius. Sitole picks it up just inside the Canadian half. This surely now is the final chance for South Africa to keep their World Cup dream alive. They've gone further than they've ever gone before, but is it ending here in Los Angeles? Out to the right hand side they go. It's Mutau, pulls it back in. They've got to get the ball into the area. Osrinapolis does just that. Canada clear away, and they'll get second contact as well, and cleared over the halfway line. The Canadian fans screaming for referee João Pinheiro to blow the whistle, but we play on. We have had a goal in added time. There'll be a few more seconds. Schaffelberg with the header. South Africa throw. They take it quickly down the left-hand side. Canada leading. South Africa ball into the area, and Crepo comes, and Crepo claims, and Crepo hits the deck, and Canada are almost there. Dion Dublin.
Crepo, brilliant play that, you know. There's about 5 black shirts in front of him protecting him. He comes over the top of them as the ball's just launched in the box by South Africa. Takes all the pressure off, gets himself a drink. The ball is on the penalty spot. It's going to be a free kick for him. When this ball's kicked, the game's over and Canada will be through.
Jesse Marsh can barely contain himself on the touchline. The Canada manager, he's got both arms in the air. He's saying, blow the full-time whistle, and the full-time whistle goes. Right at the death, Canada make more history. Stefan Eustáquio, the hero. The precision shot into the bottom corner in added time to break South African hearts and send Canada through to the last 16. Their first knockout stage match at a World Cup yields their second ever victory at a World Cup, and they are through. Dion Dublin.
Eustáquio, I mean, he's dead ball. Free kicks, corners have been excellent, but as the ball's dropping, I'm thinking, oh, you've got to shoot. Oh, it's Eustáquio. We've got a chance. Are we going to see a goal? And he puts it in the corner with such quality. Nice and steady, no panic. Very good player, makes things happen. Unfortunately today, South Africa not good enough in all departments.
Well, they battled South Africa. There was some last-ditch, very high-quality defending from them at times, but as Dion said, that they just couldn't offer enough going forward. In truth, it's been a poor game, Dion, but we said we just needed that moment. Somebody was going to be a hero, and that moment fell to Stefan Eustáquio. Rick Edwards.
I mean, you could probably say that that was the one moment of real quality in front of goal in the entire match, Dion, from Eustáquio, and he felt like the right player to do it.
There's no probably about it. That was it, Rick. You're absolutely spot on. And you wanted it to fall to him as well. He's had a very good game. I mean, Canada weren't very good today either, let's get it right. 2 very average teams today, playing in an average way, didn't really go for it. couple of chances, keepers made a couple of saves. It wasn't a riveting game, but games like this that are so important, it takes a good tackle, or it takes a good strike on goal, or a bit of just something to separate the teams. Eustáquio was the man, the goal was the goal.
The other thing that gave Canada that huge lift was when Alphonso Davies came on. The crowd went mad, and he had such an impact in the first sort of 45 seconds of being on. Created a chance, then some lovely footwork, and it just, you felt it gave them a big lift at a time when they needed it, Dion.
Yeah, just lots of energy. I mean, what at the moment we're seeing, actually, we've got on the big screens, we're seeing some really good stuff here.
Yeah, it's Jesse Marsch has got everybody all together, and I think, and I have to be really clear, we cannot see his legs, one of which is broken, but Ismail Kone is in the centre, and he's been hopping around. I think he's doing it on his crutches, leading the dancing. But now Jesse Marsch in that grey Canadian top is going through his team talk, and they will go to the last 16. Look, as you say quite rightly, Rick, and as Dion and I have said in commentary, it's not been a great game, but these are the sorts of moments that can give you momentum. And you think about, this isn't just about the momentum for Canada in this World Cup. That is huge, of course, that's primary, but this is about the momentum of football in Canada as a country. And with Alphonso Davies making his return to action here for Canada, and him just having that impact that you talked about, it just reminds me again of what he was saying in the press conference yesterday, that he was almost in tears when they played their opener in Toronto. He had never seen so many Canada fans at a football match, and he said what this is going to do for the game in this country, the game that these players love, in a country that, you know, is an ice hockey country. That is the national sport of Canada, but these are players who adore football just like we adore football, and they're trying to build the momentum of football in their country, and it means so much to them. And this, in a way, like we saw with England women at the Euros in 2022 in terms of what that did for women's football, this is a similar tournament for Canada as co-hosts. Yes, they're now in America rather than in Canada, but they are playing and they are fighting for something bigger. They're fighting for the legacy of football in their country, and this is another huge step on that road.
Let's bring in former Canada defender David Edgar. David, of all the coaches I've watched at this World Cup, I don't think there is a manager who likes winning more, likes celebrating goals more than Jesse Marsch.
Yeah, he's got to dance for every goal, I think. But yeah, it's the emotions of this game and what it does. Obviously, this is a huge day, as Vicky said, for football in our country. Nobody's going to remember how we played today. Nobody's going to remember that it wasn't the best of games, we got by, but it's created history, and that's what matters, is creating that legacy. And it's important for Jesse Marsch and these players. It's something they talk about, so we're excited.
The players are out there with the Canadian flag, parading it in front of their fans. This big, as Vicky described it, big slice of red over to our right. They are absolutely loving it. I'm sure they've had a little look to see what their round of 16 will hold, and it is the winners of Netherlands-Morocco on the 4th of July in Houston. So they're getting further away from home, and whoever they end up facing, they are going to face a sterner test than they did here against South Africa, I think, David.
Yeah, it's going to be a completely different game, and two very, very good teams. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Morocco's couldn't beat anyone on the day, and the Netherlands have been fantastic since they started this tournament. So the Canada will have to regroup, playing away from home, playing the heat. Houston's very, very hot, so it'll be something that they're going to have to acclimatize to as quickly as possible. But yeah, it's an exciting one for the country here.
And just from a personal point of view, David, you know these players really well. You've been part of this setup. How much does it mean to see them triumph in a World Cup knockout game?
Honestly, it is emotional, because we, as a player myself, and going through sort of some of the tougher generation of Canada soccer and trying to grind it out and to get to these moments, it's emotional knowing you played some small part in leaving the shirt in a better place for these players to have an opportunity to play in these World Cups, and then for the next generation of Canadians have something to aspire to. So myself, it's just a proud moment to play a small part in this.
We were saying that, you know, when the ball dropped to Eustachio, he is probably the Canadian player you would want it to come to. He had a really good game. And I'm just looking at this statistic here. He's the second player on record since 1966 to create 5 or more chances from set pieces in a knockout match of the Men's World Cup, after Andrea Pirlo against Germany in 2006. He was Canada's standout player, I think.
Yeah, and it shows what a miss he was at the beginning of the Switzerland game last week. He's a leader in the team, and it was a blessing it fell to him at the edge of the box, because Steph's got that quality, and he's got that maturity to take that strike on at the end. But yeah, Steph's a massive leader for this team. The boost of having Alfonso back, whether he's firing all cylinders or not, I'm not sure, but to have Steph back in the team is massive.
Can I just say as well, David, it's Vicky Sparks here. We have seen a hilarious moment here in SoFi Stadium where Ismail Kone has joined the lap of honour, but I think the Canadian players are so excited that they kind of left him behind, and so a member of the Canadian support staff has just sprinted from the dugout with his crutches. I think that also, Dion, will be, hang on a minute, you do have a broken leg, so can you not just hop around the entire SoFi Stadium? Let's get the crutches onto you. And now he's using those silver crutches as the Canadian players disappear down the tunnel. But I mean, it's so great to see him here and taking part in the celebrations. Canada through to the last 16, but it did make me chuckle.
Yeah, Eddie, you can imagine, can't you? Can you imagine the physio staff seeing him walking on his pot? I bet they go, what are you doing? Sprinting over, Eddie.
Especially all the stuff that we've had in the past with Alfonso. We don't want any of that stuff. So it's just get him off the pitch.
When Alphonso Davies came on, he lifted the crowd, and if he can play a part, any sort of part in Canada's next game, that will make a difference, won't it, David?
I think you could see the psychological boost when he came on. He was electric for the first couple times he touched the ball, and then after that he didn't really do much. And I think he did look slightly off the pace, which is completely understandable. But if we can use him to get that psychological advantage, and he can come on and use him at the right time, now we know he's back. It adds another piece for a massive game coming up.
I could tell you, David, that the crowd is pouring out of the SoFi Stadium, the Los Angeles Stadium. One set of fans is staying put, and that is the Canadian fans. They are going to milk this for as long as they can, as well they might. Looking at that next game then, Netherlands Morocco, I think it's pretty clear. You know, Canada shaded that game. They did deserve to win it just about. But do they have another level to go to, do you think?
I've said before, on the day, Canada can give anyone a game. But they're definitely going to have to bring it another level to beat either of these two teams coming up in the next stage. Both quality sides who can both attack and defend very, very well. And I think have more depth. Obviously, well, I know they have more depth in this Canada squad, but it's gonna need a near perfect performance from Canada.
Stick with us, David. I want to bring in South African football expert Mark Gleeson. Mark, it was resolute from South Africa, but chances were few and far between, and they'll be desperately disappointed not to have taken it to extra time. But probably on balance, can't have any complaints really.
Yeah, I'd agree with you 100%. I thought the first 20 minutes or so they were quite ambitious, had a fair amount of possession, perhaps a bit more than we expected, but Canada are much more physical. I mean, that's the sort of the downfall of the South African game, is that when players do have a chance to move forward, they very quickly get brushed off the ball. We saw the substitution, for example, at half-time of Mofokeng, who's the big sort of playmaking, dribbling star. I mean, he hardly had a look to him. He looked like a deer in the headlights, you know. So I do agree on the balance of play. Canada had plenty of chances. One cleared off the line, a couple of good saves from Ronwen Williams, and South Africa a few shots from long range that didn't really trouble the goalkeeper.
They did have good possession, South Africa, but their decision making in the final third was just a bit lacking, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I know. You know, this speaks to perhaps the lack of experience on these international stages. You know, you're not learning at an international level when you're up against Rwanda or Zimbabwe on a regular basis instead of playing against the top teams in the world. That's why this World Cup experience hopefully will be good for this team, although there are a fair number of them on the wrong side of 30, but there's certainly some younger talent. And I think someone like Mbakazi, for example, in defence was absolutely outstanding. I'd be very surprised if he's not picked up from a big European club come the end of this tournament. He was a one-man wall against the Canadians for most of the game.
Mark, were you it's Dion Dublin here, were you disappointed with the performance? Because you'd have seen this team play so many times. Could they go another level, or is this their level?
Yeah, I was a little bit, Dion. I think some of the first touches were poor when they had a chance, and some of the wider players who usually run a lot more at the defence didn't do so. Apollos number 7, for example, he showed some nice moves at times, but back home he's constantly running at defenders. He's constantly turning himself into a game winner. Mudau, the right back, had another outstanding game defensively, but he pushes forward a lot more at home. So we missed that element. I think it could have been a little bit better. I think there's obviously a lot of factors at play here. World Cup last 32, all of that kind of stuff, but ultimately, I think the Canadians were just a little bit physically stronger, and that just put South Africa off the stride. We saw the same at the Cup of Nations. The first 20 minutes against Cameroon in the round of 16, top class performance, and then they just get muscled off and muscled out of the game.
I still think, though, as much as the South African players will be gutted to go out in this way so late on, if you look at their performance in that opening game that was poor against Mexico, I think they've still done themselves proud. I think they can leave this tournament with their heads held high.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they'll get a wonderful reception at home. I mean, qualifying for the World Cup for the first time in 16 years is a big deal. Just participating in the greatest sporting stage there is, I think, elevates all of these players an extra level. And I think at home they'll get a good reception, and it's been very good for the domestic game, for the football industry in South Africa, which has been in a bit of a slump post 2010. The national team has not been doing well. The clubs have not been doing well. There's not been as much money in the game. And over the last 2 years, we've had qualification for the World Cup. We've had Mamelodi Sundowns winning the African Champions League, competing last year in the Club World Cup. All of these things serve to kind of just give the domestic game a boost. And the domestic game in South Africa is very big. It's in its own little bubble. Doesn't really have international wheels, but it's a very big industry in South Africa, and millions and millions follow the domestic game week in and week out.
Good speech to you. Thanks for your...
I was just going to say, Rick, when you come to the tournament, you look at what happened against Mexico. The former South Africa captain, Dean Furman, described it as a nightmare from start to finish. They ended with 9 players. They were completely outclassed. But Hugo Broos said that they were overwhelmed by the event, and they weren't overwhelmed here. As much as they could, they went toe-to-toe with Canada. And yes, it wasn't a game of high quality, but I think you're right. I think they will be incredibly proud of reaching the knockout stage for the first time, and this again will give the game a lift in South Africa.
Thanks very much, Mark. Appreciate your time. South African football expert Mark Gleeson there. Let's hear now from the goal scorer, Eustachio. His goal put Canada into the World Cup round of 16.
Stefan Eustachio, you are remarkably calm for a man who just scored the biggest goal in the history of the men's program in Canada. Take us through that moment.
Yeah, I think we worked a lot to get this victory. We really wanted to give this win to all the Canadians. And we just kept believing, we kept pushing, and I think we could have imagined it any other way. I think it was an amazing goal. But when I shot, I felt that everybody shot with me. Everybody put a little bit of power on it, and it went into the back of the net, so I'm very happy.
That's the one thing Jesse Marsch talked about leading into this game, the belief. Take us into the locker room. Where did that belief start this week, and how did it build through this game?
Yeah, it started when we came out of the group stage. I think when it comes to a knockout of the World Cup, the belief brings a big part to it. And now we're going to get Morocco or the Netherlands, and who knows, in a good day that we can make things happen. Probably the quality is not going to be there. We're going to have an off day, but if we keep believing, if we keep working, things might go our way.
Goal scorer Stefan Eustachio there, and it was an absolutely fantastic hit to win it at the death for Canada, who now go into the World Cup round of 16. I'm just watching some pictures of a happy-looking Jesse Marsch celebrating earlier on the pitch, hands aloft. He will be absolutely delighted with his team. Thanks very much to our commentary team, Vicky Sparks and Dion Dublin, as always. That is it from us here in the Los Angeles Stadium. Stephen Nolan is up next.
Rick, thank you very much indeed. Great coverage tonight. So Canada go through. No more World Cup games this evening. So shall we get straight into the news? There's a lot kicking off with Andy Burnham's big day tomorrow. He'll deliver a major speech in Manchester, laying out his economic plan ahead of his expected coronation as Prime Minister in just a few weeks. According to the Times, he's expected to slash Whitehall budgets and send more money to regional mayors. In the Telegraph today, Louise Haigh, an ally of Burnham, who's expected to take a key role in government, has called for a fundamental redesign of the tax system, a sharp increase in capital gains tax and a relaxation of the fiscal rules to enable the government to borrow more. Talking to Victoria Derbyshire, presenting Laura Koonsberg's politics show this morning, the deputy leader of the Labour Party, Lucy Powell, outlined what she thinks is on Burnham's agenda.
Manchester, Greater Manchester, is the fastest growing region in the country by some distance. But if we had more control over things like skills and local transportation, we could better connect people to all those new job opportunities of the future, and we could go much further and faster with that. So I think Andy wants that, to see that right round the country, communities in every part of Britain being able to seize their own agenda, to seize power for themselves in order to transform their communities. And I think that's a very powerful agenda, actually.
Well, Neil Lawson is a political commentator and the founder of Compass, a centre-left think tank, which has been actively supporting Andy Burnham. He told me what he thinks Burnham needs to achieve tomorrow.
Well, I think he's won the Makerfield by-election on the basis of really Labour's last chance saloon. People want big systemic change. They've been voting for that from Brexit onwards. Burnham's win in Makerfield signifies that, but now he's got to start delivering on it from the awkward position of being a backbencher, being looked at like he's already the Prime Minister. So I think unless it's kind of got big content in terms of, real Devo Max, real powers for, the kind of job he's left behind, but for mayors and local authorities all over the country to raise their own taxes, to have their right to start spending effectively, to start building council houses, to start having much greater control over things like bus regulation, training, education. There's a whole range of places in which local authorities and mayors need much more power. And so let's see if he's going to set that out in the speech tomorrow.
But of course, more devolution means less power for him if he's got the keys to number 10, right?
Well, I mean, this is hopefully the thing that, he wants. Someone just recently said that Britain is a very centralised country without a strong centre. You need a strong centre to give, power away, power and resources away. And he's, from his last 9 years of successfully running Greater Manchester, fastest growing city region in the country, he knows what he could do, he could have done with more powers. So I don't think he's gone back from all of that experience of what you can do, in terms of the term Manchesterism, to hold power at number 10 or in the Treasury. I think he's gone back to let go and to give those places like Manchester and other big cities and regions in the country the power to do things locally, because that's where you can really make a difference now.
How much of a risk is this for him, Neil? Because doing it in Manchester is different than doing it when you're the Prime Minister.
Well, I think it's all a risk, and Labour in government has now got to take a risk, as I say, because it's the last chance saloon. We've tried the centralisation, the top-down Treasury control of everything, and it hasn't worked. We haven't got growth. He has proven what can happen if you give local authorities and local mayors powers, resources, and the freedom to act. So he knows that. He knows what his colleagues out there in the country are going to need. He's almost the best placed person to do this now, I think, Stephen, in terms of knowing what resources, initiatives and space they're going to need. So I think in effect he's very well placed to do this now. Being, effectively he's going to be the Prime Minister, but doing that from the basis of knowing what places like Manchester and others need, and now have to have.
And you've known him for, over 20 years. Give us a sense of the man you know.
He is a person on his journey. That's why I've kind of reconnected with him over the last couple of years, and become more radical and recognise that we do need system change. We need to change our democracy. We need to change the state so that we can change our economy. And I think that's exactly what the country needs. He's going to be pragmatic about that. He's going to be sensible, but I think he knows that he won Makerfield with the promise of big system change, and he's going to have to